I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I'll make mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crowd to go get it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dark Star Gaming Week 4 matchup between Resurge Red versus FamiREE. My name is Army Overlord, and I am so happy to be casting this game literally out of pure nowhere. But more importantly, I've got to discuss about the caster that is going to be casting with me pretty darn soon. His name is Myth. His name is Legend. For he has managed to win himself a good old-fashioned winning team franchise that won a championship game. Not only that, but he's a good friend of mine who's been gifting me some skins a little bit here, a little bit there, whether I deserve it or not. But most importantly, above all else, he's the type of guy that would step into the ring and assist somebody else out, whether the ref would allow it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Crazy Chris, and I cannot thank him enough for even showing up.
Wow. Thanks, Army. You missed the part where it's my birthday, but it was pretty good.
It's his birthday too! And it's also his birthday today.
I'm just excited to be here, Army. You know I love League of Legends, and I'm excited to dive right into this and get some hot League of Legends action right off.
Well, for those of you at home who are probably curious at what's going on right now, since I had the thanks for watching screen on for so long, here you go, guys. It is 3 bans for FamiREE, 3 bans for Resurge Red. And for those of you at home, FamiREE on the left, Resurge Red on the right. I think it's quite clear. Thank goodness they made themselves a nice club tag. Makes that a lot easier for me. The Darius, Ezreal, and Blitzcrank all banned off the board. The Karma, the J4, and the Gnar also all banned off the board as well. But Thresh has been secured by FamiREE. Lulu and Xayah, the bot lane, appears to be secured as well.
Yeah, Army, I'm really liking the band so far. As you know, Klepto Ezreal's annoying. Get him off the table. Blitz is annoying right now. Gnar's a really strong top laner, and if you don't know it, you better know it. Karma's like the best support in the game right now. So.
Yep, and we just so you know, Chris, this is your very first time ever seeing any of these Dark Star Gaming performances so far. Karma was actually used in a FamiREE matchup. Quite a dominating force in the mid lane, and in top lane was actually pretty strong as well. So it looks like they just wanted to get rid of that so they didn't have to worry about anybody's surprising plays. Speaking of surprising, looks like Poppy also being secured, Brand being secured, and Lee Sin also confirmed. So very interesting little team we got here so far. No hard CC, or at least no strong long CC cooldowns. Sorry, CC by anybody as of right now.
You want to make a good ADC ban in this rotation of bans, just so you can have a better matchup for your Xayah and Lulu. But it's interesting the team comps that they're trying to craft right here.
Oh yes, definitely. Gonna say this as well. I am very curious to see what the mid laner option is, because it looks like on FamiREE's side they're trying to narrow out Brand's counters, which happens to be Ahri from what I can gather. Maybe even Veigar too, I'd imagine.
It's interesting that they're pinching more ADCs here. It's kind of just leaning towards them picking like a Vayne or a Lucian, like a hyper carry, with the meta the way it's shifting right now. But it's interesting what their AD pick is gonna be on the FamiREE. Malahar is also a really good band too.
Does completely hold Brand still. That is exactly something Brand would have a very difficult time dealing with. Even with a cleanse, it still is a very hard force off for Brand. You don't want to really lose your TP, at least for Nudity's sake. He doesn't want to lose his TP just to be able to use a cleanse for this situation.
Well, Rampage on Lee Sin versus Rek'Sai. It's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top because depending on which jungle path now with the jungle meta the way it's shifting in this patch, interesting to see who starts where and which jungler is going to be able to get the edge on each other, either or. So look into that matchup. Should be a good one.
Well, they seem to have selected their top laner Maokai. So Misfortune Thresh in the bot lane, and it appears to be a pretty, for the most part, good AOE comp that causes a lot of hold down, and a lot of burst damage as well. So
FamiREE team is super strong, and it's a little bit meta-y. It has a little bit of abusive masteries and abusive champions, but if they don't play it right, the strength of a solid scaling team on with Ori and Poppy, it could go sideways for them.
Right, and Orianna, very good to have against a Bran, I would imagine, because of the fact that you just need to put your ball in the right place, and Bran has got to position really, he has to move and hit at the same time, so getting him off balance might make it harder for him to retaliate against an Orianna. Although Bran's a heavy burst, so it'd be interesting to see.
It depends on what happens early game. They have early game junglers, both of them, in Lee Sin, Rek'Sai, and their top laners are all trying to scale. Their mid laners are trying to farm and pop off for Brand. But MF is such a strong champion right now. Most of them are running Airy and then building lethality, so it's pretty strong. Does a ton of AoE damage, and yeah, a lot of poke too.
So on each side of perspective, since we've already been talking about it for the most part here, I guess you and I should probably pick a bit of a side. Maybe we can debate which one that we think might come out on top for game one here. And I'm honestly feeling like FamiREE happens to have the right stuff with the AoE type of damage burst. If they just hold a certain line, if they get him in a certain angle, they might be able to get some really strong burst damage.
See, here's what I'd like to say. I don't know either of these teams very well, but FamiREE built a team comp of a bunch of old, reliable champions. They probably have tons of experience on those champions, and they're probably in their comfort zone playing them. And if it comes out like they're gonna win,
ladies and gentlemen, I just got some news. Sorry to cut you off, Chris, but apparently this very bizarre bug has just happened to FamiREE's team. Maokai has been forced. The switch could not be confirmed, which means Daloon is playing Thresh in the top lane. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. This is a very dire situation here, and I don't know what we could do exactly about this, because Thresh is now the top laner, and Maokai is now the support. This is going to be extremely unfortunate here, because we don't have another rule. We don't have any rules for this exactly. We would definitely have to take a look at what the management is going to have to say about this, because it seems like this bug is quite severe to the chances of the game's situation. Chris, can you believe these crazy bugs that are going on?
I can't. This patch has just been buggy. On top of the old bugs this client already had. It's kind of crummy, but patch day is coming. Let's see what happens.
Right, well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to reset up everything again, and in hopes that this will be the final time we have to worry about this. Wow. Just if the bugs couldn't get any worse, it just keeps getting worse. Anyway, once again, happy birthday, Crazy Chris. I'm so happy that you are able to...
I'm actually really excited. This is a great way to spend my birthday. I love League of Legends, and I love competition, and yeah, should be a spicy one. But Army, you're the best at this, so you get this going pretty fast.
Yeah. Hopefully, one team. I don't know what the condition. I don't know what the other team is hearing right now, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's the strangest bug I think we've ever seen on Darkstar Gaming. I don't even know what the other team is thinking right now. Like,
well, Resurge Red. they're resilient. They know what to do. Everyone just fall in line and let's get the game going. Give the people what they want. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. They are going to reconvene here for the situation, and your assessment, by the way, is correct. That is very true. FamiREE's current record, just so you know, Chris, is 1-for-1, while Resurge Red's current record seems to be 3-0 from what I have gathered here. Still, the strangest bug I think I've ever seen that has delayed the situation in the game for a lot of people. Let's hope that just does not happen again, because that would be extremely, extremely unfortunate if we have to repeat this like 6 or 7 more times.
No, it's gonna work this time.
I believe too. I'm believing in you, man. But anyway, what? Again, for what I said about your happy birthday, but have you gotten any presents yet?
Kinda. I went out for a fancy meal, and I went to go see that Justice League movie.
Did you end up paying for the tickets for the Justice League movie?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, folks, while everybody gets right back into position, we will be taking a momentary break while everything gets back and set in motion. We will reconvene when the match does get back into the champ select and started. But until then, we will be momentarily right back. So stay tuned, folks. We're not going anywhere.
Hey, is everything okay?
We're live. So, yes. Everything is okay. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I will be briefly muting everything for a short intermission to figure out what's going on. I'll be right back just to make sure everything is sorted out. So be right back, folks. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally able to get right back into this stuff, and my goodness, you guys have got to be wondering what the heck has been going on here. I think I'll get you all caught up to date of what's been happening. Turns out some mistakes has come about here from both sides.
We must all make
they
our
have
choices.
agreed to a term that allows them both to be able to play in this type of environment the same way that they played in the previous one, which means they will be having the same bands and the same picks in the exact same environment and situation. For those of you who still don't exactly understand what I mean, is there has been some changes that has happened from the Resurge Red roster. Their support had to go, so they just got their replacement substitute that just came in ready to play for them, and they have also had another agreement between the both teams that I will have to talk with the management later about, so everything's all clear and crystal. But the strangest bug that we've ever did see, ladies and gentlemen, the absolute strangest little bug for FamiREE and Resurge Red, and thankfully they'll be picking in their exact order, so that way this type of bug will not happen again. But I have never seen anything quite like this. Have you seen anything of that nature, Crazy Chris?
To be honest, I've seen a lot in my time, and no. But yes, failing to, switch champions and bugs of that nature happen. But we just kind of, we don't have Riot staff behind us. We just have us, so we just do it again, guys.
Right, and we will be doing it again. And again, thank you all for your patience. I know there was quite a very interesting time where everything was a little muted, but I'm sure everything is going to now be completely good to go and ready. Let's hope this is going to be the game we're all going to very much enjoy.
I'm super excited,
Yeah.
Let me get in there.
The team comps before were Brand and Lee Sin and early game junglers. It's still the same match we're going to see.
Playtime's
It's
over.
interesting to see who takes this mid lane matchup or how the ganks go for mid.
Let's hope this will be the last complication we ever have between both of these teams, and we can get this match completely going and underway. I'm going to be very excited as well to see what FamiREE has in store for this type of matchup. They have the superior AoE damage than their opponents right now, but their opponents definitely have very strong positioning control, as well as very good at making picks and catches when developed, which is a bit of a kryptonite for FamiREE. And in this case, I think it should be, as I was mentioning earlier, FamiREE's AoE burst, that if well positioning comes about, FamiREE's advantage should come through. But what do you think, Crazy Chris?
Yeah, before the slight technical difficulty, we were talking about how FamiREE's team looks like they have a bunch of champions that they're well seasoned on. You probably have a bunch of Thresh games, MF games, Brand games, Lee Sin games, Maokai games played at this point. And getting an early lead with those comfortable champions could be a good cincher for the win. But never underestimate the wombo combo of Poppy and Orianna and some Xayah on the Resurge Red team. They have some good disengage with Lulu and Poppy. So, interesting. I'm really interested in seeing who everyone else thinks is going to win this. Is it the 3-0 or is it the 1-1?
I wouldn't be surprised. Both of these teams have very little experience with a a 3-match best of 3. The most it has been Resurge Red, which means their experience with it is going up against their sister team Resurge, and Resurge has been the only team that has been playing every single game with every single match being 3 matches in between. So they've been utilizing the most out of a best of 3. Where FamiREE has only played 2 matches every single best of 3. So I wouldn't imagine this is going to be either a stomp on one side or the other. And by a stomp, I mean 2 wins in a row. Not the match content is going to be like stomps. I would imagine these are going to be 30 to 40 minute matches. They're both very skilled at their late game environments. And both of them are very talented in their ability to not get caught consistently. So I would imagine that means 30, 40 minutes for sure, especially considering objectives are going to be the most important factor that will determine who wins here.
I mean, let's be honest. It's week 4, and the teams are kind of settling in, and people want to see a clear winner and clear kind of underdogs in the league. So you might want to just make statements. Each week, I've been a manager and coach and player on some competitive teams in my day, and winning is super important to the mentality of a team, and it keeps the team focused, and it keeps it fun, and it keeps it fresh. So maybe you want to dominate the meta right now is super early game. You can take a small lead, get Rift Herald, push it down mid, and just get an early 20-minute Baron and end the game super quick. It doesn't need to be long. If you're good, play good. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and I agree with that assessment. But the problem is a lot of teams haven't figured out the mechanical, answer to that very important question. Nobody's really figured out a surefire way to overwhelm the opponent that they're up against. A lot of people kind of let the game slowly play out. They want to get that extra farm. They want to be a certain level of strength that they feel comfortable enough to win the game. But the thing is, nobody really feels like they can just win. And that is exactly that type of mentality has been the reason we have 30 to 40 minutes.
I'm no guru. I'm no army genie, rather. But we get to see this firsthand right now as we dive right into it. FamiREE versus Resurge Red. Let's get it.
Oh, baby, we will. As we make the transition, by the way, just want to say as well, thank you to everybody involved for assisting me in this very troubling situation. I hope I can still provide the necessary quality content that we will be able to provide in the near future. But anyway, what do we got here? We got ourselves some summoners and some masteries to take a look at. A couple of level 6s and level 4s going on in the Resurge Red side. A few level 7s, 3 of them in fact, for the FamiREE side. So a lot of experience and confidence seems to be coming around for the FamiREE squad here, as they really like their AoE comp. Some Executioners, some Summon Ahri. Very interesting pick for Misfortune. I've been hearing that Summon Ahri has been the new Misfortune pick because of the battle casting style that Misfortune has.
You know me, as an AD carry main, I like to dive right into the ADs, and MF with Ahri is very, very strong. Top 2, top 3 ADC right now.
Nocturne, turn off the lights for us again. One of the longest and oldest bugs since the beginning of this year, in fact. And now we got ourselves finally into the game here. Everybody's spawning in from each side. Let's see who has the winning method. Because both teams, as I mentioned, have different styles of catching. And it all depends on how that will work out in the long run.
Alright, starting right off, FamiREE is all grouped up on their bottom side of the map. A good 5-man bush with Thresh and Maokai, some CC that they have, MF as well. Could be something spicy. Seems like...
Goes with a hook, a little bit on the lower side here. Oh, just in case anybody's curious at home, I'll be the play-by-play caster for this game. My birthday man over here, this legendary player himself, is going to be the color caster for this one. Birthday man, a little bit of a weird thing to say for me, I guess. Birthday. It's like birthday boy, but you're clearly...
Hey, let's not get age put into this. Hey,
you're right.
League of Legends. So, let's see. We're getting a good position for the jungler Rek'Sai on Resurge Red towards chickens and red side. They're just getting a standard pan out, and so there's no hard invade from anyone. No one's gonna lose a buff.
Right. About a minute and 30 seconds on the clock here. That's the start time for all the jungler camps nowadays. Let's see how the beginning phase is going to start right now, folks.
Good poke early game from
Which gets
Brand.
immediately negated by Daloon's passive. That's one of the Maokai advantages. You can get such a ridiculous Maokai page that you can almost like get an unbelievable amount of health back. It's almost completely crazy, especially when you have Spirit Visage.
Yeah, well, I said poke. I meant mid lane Brand, level 1, bringing Orianna to half health.
Absolutely. Villa is playing a little bit close with the Brand skill shots to hit, and that's exactly going to be very good for Brand. Especially considering his passive, I believe, is the Comet. Maybe I might be wrong about that, but I thought he had the Arcane Comet. Hook actually lands on the ADC here. Awoken does get the flay on the follow-up. The damage was pretty good, but Lasaris was unable to follow up thanks to the slow by Lulu. And they will lose some health bars on a little bit of a one-sided trade. Just a little bit. Mr. Light Blue Sky is now dealing with a gank coming in here. Here comes the counter gank. Mr. Light Blue Sky will get out of that area, but Rampage and D-Loon continue to fight. Factor, being the Factor here, does manage to separate the situation. Lee Sin is low, but D-Loon is high on health. This might be a bit of a turnaround later. Oh my goodness, the Lulu actually does do the burst damage on Misfortune, getting the solo kill.
Jeez, that was just unfortunate for MF. He walked up and didn't respect the Lulu damage with Area and Ignite. Ignite wasn't even used, so it was just a misplay altogether.
Misfortune definitely had to have been surprised. That wasn't an unexpected amount of burst. I'm a fish. Great job on that burst.
Yeah, really interesting to watch how Lulu plays this early game. It's interesting to see like an aggressive Lulu that knows how to time her shields well. Well played by them.
Indeed. Looks like the sorcery page, the mana flow, is going to be a very good item for champions like Lulu, who can just continuously poke and just be a threat on the battlefield. Seems to be going pretty well.
Hook goes right into a minion. Kind of not sure what he was aiming for there. Ooh,
Right.
Tons of good poke back from MF. Love to see that.
Anyway, I had the song going the whole time. Oopsies.
Got a pretty much even top lane CS wise, but it's just gonna be two guys trying to scale and get tanky for a while until the jungler comes.
Okay. Well, anyway, Nudity here is out of mana as Orianna is still pretty healthy on the mana department here. So Nudity clearly wants to try to force the Orianna back, but these trades are not exactly getting anything back for Nudity, and he continues to try to force some waves to go down, but I guess that's kind of one of the issues brands must be having as of late, because they're having a hard time keeping their mana high in this current meta.
Lee Sin on the bot side is just gonna recall and push up, give a little bit of presence in the bot lane.
Ooh, Mr. Light Blue Sky misread his positioning there and ends up walking away from his Q shot, and that is going to... Whoa, he misses a second time. That's actually really unfortunate. He could have gotten D-Loon in a bad spot, but that damage is just not coming through it in a time when they needed to.
Probably just needs to warm up. Poppy's pretty good into Maokai, actually, for a champion comparison.
Right. What I'm also very much curious about here is the outcome of these guys' early games performances right now. Lulu has surprised the ADC Lazarasaurus Rex, formerly a support that was moved to the ADC as of late due to her ability. But anyway, the hook actually lands really well. Lazarasaurus has a good chance for the take. She does make the kill. Awoken's in a bad spot, but the Lulu's damage was just barely not enough. Just as I can't seem to finish any of my conversations anyway.
And it's a good return kill on them. They landed the hook and made sure they finished it.
Factor here is going on a 1v1 against the Lee Sin. Rampage was almost able to take out the Rek'Sai, but he was just so close. It just couldn't seem to get the next ability to get where he needed to be. Rek'Sai's flash over the wall does give good hopes for the ganks to come in the future, because he will not be able to try to extend his knockup.
Looks like Mr. Light Blue Sky is out of mana and trying to get a little bit of pressure so he get back at a good rate. Are you gonna try and defend his pink ward?
Brand does manage to get the 3 procs off here. Villa's going to try to return fire, uses his own ultimate, but it looks like it's a bit of a stalemate for right now. It's an auto-attack fest between both of the mid laners, and Nudity comes out on top as he uses the flash last second on Villa to force Villa to not auto-attack back, and Villa ends up losing the fight.
That was so well played by Orianna. Unlucky, though. She played it so perfectly. She flashed into the bush so that Brand's auto-attack would miss, but Brand didn't even get a chance to auto-attack. She just flashed into the bush and lost vision, and that's when she lost the auto-attack war.
Yep, the Nudity flashed out of there, so the second Ori walked into the bush. Didn't seem to make the big difference here. Awoken seems to have found a Humpador, and it looks like Humpador's going to get himself out of the mess as quickly as it started to show up. Thresh nearly able to get him to 75% of his health bar, so really good ambush, as the ADC almost had no way to get away from Thresh.
Why Thresh is up there, or why the AD carry, rather, is up over behind blue buff and should not in their bot lane farming is beyond me. She's losing out in farm, and she just got murdered by MF in the outplay by the bot lane, so
seems to
gotta
be
get your CS up there.
Right. As well as another theme I'm starting to notice as well, every single team seems to be running out of mana really, really fast as they're trying to use their abilities to push the wave back. Seems like every member has been fighting with no mana when these matches are going around. Nudity seems like he might have had a catch. The Q actually does land onto Villa. He does have a chance to get the burst, but it's Lee Sin who secures the kill. Awoken's got a little bit of the flay. He plays what could possibly be the wrong direction because it means Humpador will get out of there.
Just felt like maybe Thresh was a little bit too excited. He didn't pull in one more inch and flay inwards. He just flayed away. So I'm kind of jacked him up. But another hook does land. Consecutive hook. Flay this time does land. Taking tons of damage and gonna flash out.
Yeah, Awoken was in a really rough spot there, but it looks like Miss Fortune is going to try to get a little bit back for it. The barrier is going to make a huge difference, and I'm a Fish now catches another kill on Lasarosaurus Rex.
Oh, such a miscalculation. Flashing under tower is an ADC for a kill. You know you're gonna die, but there's a chance that that happens, and it's just so unfortunate.
That was just only seconds away. Lazarus just needed a single one of the Qs to land, and that was a kill for sure. Ooh, there's a hiccup there. Anyway, it almost caught the Rek'Sai, but it looks like Rek'Sai will be able to get out despite the root by D-Loon, and bye-bye, Tree. But the red buff seems to go along with it. They might be able to take it, but it is gonna get bursted and secured by the top laner of all people.
Well, what an interesting little interaction there.
It was.
The score now is a little bit tight.
Oh, wait a second. Factor is about to fight the Golem camp.
He's not going to die to Golem.
Oh, yeah, he does run out of there. You're right. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen somebody die to the Golem camp, but we will
those golems,
not see it here.
Tough. A lot of brawling going in the top lane.
It's an auto attack fest for D-Loon because he has a red buff. That means he's got the better sustain and he has better tick damage against the Poppy, who's now out of mana. D-Loon's going to try to get some good damage onto Mr. Light Blue Sky. He's still retaliating, but it's a bit of a advantage for the Maokai. Still, though, Maokai simply wanted to push the Poppy back.
You call it a bit. I call it massive army. He's actually really taking it to the Poppy. I like the aggressive style of both the top laners. Yes, we're on tanks that scale, but you know what? We like to fight. We like to take this game into our own hands. So good on both teams for that one.
FamiREE Awoken is prowling around the flanks, waiting for Humptador to just step a little bit out of position so he can have the Misfortune play. The ultimate by Misfortune is ready, so a little bit of coordination just needs to be set by both Awoken and Lysosaurus Rex. Rampage has been spotted now. They now know that Rampage is still hovering that mid lane on Orianna, who already felt a little bit of that Lee Sin pressure.
Yeah, Lee Sin, I feel like he has this little bit of an early kill here in the early game, and he's got to be doing a little bit more to pull that lead into a lane.
There's a very 50-50 hook by Awoken, by the way, earlier. He had a 50-50 chance of it clipping towards the minion or clipping towards Lulu as he went for the 7-10 split. Factor secures the Rift Crab, sorry. But it looks like he's going to try to get out of there as Thresh did try to catch him. And he will get out of there rather fast. He got it so fast I couldn't even finish what was going on here. The Q does miss. There will not be a stun for the very afraid Lulu. He end up nearly bursted. Oh my goodness, I can barely keep up with what's going on here, man. My goodness. There's so many things happening in such a short time. FamiREE nearly catches the Lulu on that play. Very close. Lulu avoids it with just a flash at the last second.
Looks like they're going to put a lot of effort into getting first tower right here, which is smart for them.
The dive seems to have backfired against them because right now it looks like Resurge Red is trying to climb back in. The Orianna ultimate hits three members, and it looks like Factor does manage to get one kill onto the Thresh as the retreat still continues by FamiREE. Their mana is low, but Rampage is also low as well, so I don't imagine a play is about to happen here. As they've secured the bot lane control, that means we should be seeing an Infernal Drake being secured. But then again, Lee Sin does have enough. He does have a smite. He has a chance to secure and steal this, but it doesn't seem like he's going to get in position in time. 800 left. He tries to take a look, but he's not going to get it. Blocked by the Rek'Sai and secured at the same time by Rek'Sai as well.
Really good by Resurge Gaming to just hold their card. They knew Orianna was coming in from the flank and that she did have ulti, and it was just well timed and well placed from the Orianna to turn that fight around.
Well, that pressure worked out really nicely, but I think Rampage probably just didn't think that there was a chance for him to get the Infernal Drake at that time, so he kind of played it a little bit slow, and then just did a check over with the Q, found out it was already gone by the time the Q completed.
Yeah, I mean, this like we said about this whole game is you're trying to make a statement in this league and trying to win ahead and early. So both teams are kind of tied up a little bit, and they felt it. So not going for the one dragon and dying for it, you know, it's worth it.
Right, but that just means now Resurge Red happens to have a damage advantage of 8% against their opponent, which will go really handsomely in the later half of the game. I have no idea what the next Drake is going to be, but if it's another Infernal Drake, it's definitely going to be highly contested.
The next Drake is going to be a Mountain Drake, and
which is pretty much equally as important as well.
It could be.
Trading between both the top laning and bot laning at the same time here. It looks like both of these tanks are getting sick of looking at each other as the wet noodle fight continues. D-Loon uses his ultimate in a very strange position, but in any case, the fight is still going on. Mr. Light Blue Sky is swinging with every ounce of his wet noodle towards D-Loon. But anyway, in the tri-bush, it's actually some burst damage. Factor nearly goes down. The red bot, he does get the last tick of the burn by the Brand. And Brand gets another kill to go with his appetite. That's a blue buff for him. He needs a single, unfortunately couldn't reach the Poppy with the W, which means he might not try a risky play here. He's still diving. Nudity.
So many turret shots. I think he's going to execute, or he's just, you know, playing it really tight here.
Yep, he does have a little bit of tankiness from the Rod of Ages. Rampage kicks him around. The Q barely misses, but it's Nudity who secures another kill. That's going to go really handsomely for the Brand right now.
This Brand is getting out of control.
Absolutely,
Nudity,
positively.
Smart and playing smarter. And that's what you like to see when you're mid laner. Someone consistent, someone who knows how to win. And another hook gets landed in the bot lane. Another flay out.
And it looks like a bit of a tie here, but Lizarasaurus Rex is not going to let it be a tie. Gets a double kill, takes out the ADC and the support. That's a good trade in the favor of FamiREE here.
Dustblade versus Essence Reaver, and that just leads into lethality. Dustblade winning that one. It was a really close fight, though. If only Thresh had gotten out.
Right, and you can say it the other way for Lulu. It's only if Lulu could just survive a little bit longer, could have had a chance to have made it harder for Liz to follow up, get some barriers for Humpador, and give him a chance. But anyway, as we take a look at the situation here, it looks like Humpador's heal just came back up. So either it wasn't there before, or didn't use it during the time when Misfortune made the kill. So I missed it, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I missed that one as well. And panning over the entire map, and this is a good game, Army.
I know, very good game. Quite happy to see this one. And honestly, this might be the best match of the weekend. We'll find out later on, though, because everybody is very closely contested. As I mentioned before, both teams are not accustomed to getting caught out multiple times, but this is the first game where it's a bit of the contrary to that. They've actually... almost every single champion seems to have been caught out at least once, if not twice. So let's see if that's going to be still the theme here. Awoken is not going to let anybody put any wards in that bush, clearly.
Really keeping the good vision on this dragon side and the bot side of the map. It's really good because their team comp scales and getting a couple dragons under their belt could really be good for FamiREE.
FamiREE's ward coverage seems to be pretty solid. They forced all the wards away from their side and pushed it into their opponent's side. So it does look very nice for them, knowing when their opponent is going to be there and when there isn't going to be any opponents. But in any case, control wards are also being placed on each side. A bit even between the two control wards on both angles of each team. However, it does seem to still be in the favor of FamiREE, as they do happen to have the advantage of the ward positioning as of right now. Daloon is about to find out what's going on with his teammates here. Factor tries to avoid the root, ends up getting hit by the root anyway. He's going to try to do the jump across. Factor trying to take out Daloon. Daloon is now on the run here. He's got to deal with two champions that do physical. He has a lot of armor. He's not going to go down easy.
Oh, what a good flash by him, just to say, nope, I played enough on the champion, I'm going to escape with my life. Both teams are really concerned about vision, and that's what you like to see in this league. People that ward, people that sweep, people that clean and protect their own jungle intelligently.
And some people, I would say, are whether they're doing it for the intelligence sake or just wanting to get the attention of the casters who really love the warding importances of everything. You know, I personally, as I said, am a big fan of when people ward really, really good and really efficiently. And so far, that's really been the focus of every single team because of the recent player of the series have gone. So we might not even be saying that they're smart for doing it. It might be they just want to get that MVP.
Some people do it for the same, some people do it for the glory, some people do it for the honor, but some people...
The Mountain Drake right in their grasp here. FamiREE is not going to let it go. It looks like he's going to attempt for the steal. Lee Sin does secure it, but there's a wave of ultimates that they're blatantly ignoring. And at the same time, both sides are now very low. Malachi reinitiates the engage. Thresh with the hook lands on Humpador, and it is going to be the team running out of there as fast as possible. Mr. Light Blue Sky throws the Misfortune out of the fight. But it looks to be Mr. Light Blue Sky is in a tough spot. He's completely surrounded here. This could be another kill. Mr. Light Blue Sky desperately trying to stay alive. Takes out the Thresh, but can't get away from the Rampage kick to the back of the head. And slam down goes the Poppy as they're now sieging the bot tower for all it's worth. Bam! Goodbye. My goodness, that was fast.
Well, that was just really well played. The fight could have gone either way. These teams are really evenly matched, and although it seems like FamiREE has a strong lead on this game, there's no point in which Orianna and Rek'Sai Tunnel Wombo combo couldn't just pick out a priority member in MF or Brand and turn the fight easily.
That's
right now, true. It just seems like FamiREE are in the driver's seat of this game, and they're looking to take a quick victory.
Nudity with a blue buff now is going to be very good for a brand. Keeping the brand as healthy as possible is definitely a great call. But let's see how everything else is going to look for everybody else.
Let's just look at the scoreboard really quickly. Lee Sin is 2-0-3, Brand is 3-0-2, and MF is 420 dank score. It looks like that these guys are in it to win it.
Playing very clean indeed. The bot lane is the only team that has died, and that has actually been very closely contested matchups. So, if anything, that's exactly how you would want your situation to kind of go for you. You want everything to be exactly as you have it. The controller was missed, but it looks like Rek'Sai is going to try to push his luck here. Goes in, but Thresh thrown all the way out of the fight as the game is going to be recontinued. The bot lane is on their way back in. Misfortune at the very backside. The ultimate's going to be sprayed out there, and rooted and locked down is going to make this so much easier for the Misfortune. Gets herself a double kill. Resurge Rex has complete control of what's going on right now. These ultimates have been
decisions.
right, and it's all because Maokai was able to hold them down long enough for Misfortune's damage to really come through. The Thresh hooks have been very on point for Resurge Rex. And genuinely, that is like one of the big things that you get those type of champions for. You want champions that can really just do so much damage, and you hold them down for a reason, and it's because of that Misfortune damage.
That Misfortune just well played, that came in from the flank, was well protected, and just pressed your ulti in the right place at the right time. Similar to Twitch in last season's meta, MF is really a late game team fight game changer.
I think someone heard the excitement of what's going on in the background. Anyway, our situation is looking rather bleak right now. If you would consider being on the Resurge Red side, if you're on their side, I mean, not our situation. Our situation is fine. They've lost a little bit of ground and momentum, but they're still in this.
What you gotta do is you gotta have it a goal in like let's just say you want to get objective, like your top lane or your mid lane or any lane really, get an objective. You guys can, as a team, communicate which one you need to get and how you're gonna get it. Prioritize the vision around it, and slowly edging the chip damage if you have to, or all in it if you must. But just gotta come together as a team, and there's still a chance for them. The builds that I'm seeing from the Resurge Red team is a little bit questionable. Not really sure what Poppy
direction is. Yeah, I think there might be going for the Iceborne Gauntlet from what I can gather, but the direction to go for it does seem a little mysterious. Having that much mana is a bit of a question, but perhaps wants to have it so that way he doesn't run into problems that he was having in the earlier stages of spamming the Q button. So the sheen to the Iceborne Gauntlet is a good idea, but I feel like a cloth armor usually is where you would want to take that, right? Anyway, here we go again. They're having another ward battle.
over vision. It seems like they just keep
every time. Yes.
Yep.
It's fun actually to see stuff like that. Thresh tried to go in on the Poppy, rejected, thrown right back out. Thresh ain't gonna get close to Poppy on this one.
If you can notice that FamiREE has tons of vision around the what pit? The Baron pit. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're going for a game-cinching Baron play. They're setting up vision for the objective that they want to control. And they're all on the Baron side of the map. Other teams in the league should take note.
And they have been, for the most part here. Everybody has been really loving the Season 8 system. In one game in particular, I think it was Resurge Red, and when they did come around to it, I believe it was 81 wards placed by a support. 81. Can you believe that?
It's pretty good. I've had 100 plus games.
100 plus wards?
Yeah, man.
Okay, well I'm excited to see 100. I can't wait to see the first team that breaks 100 wards.
The first team to break 100 wards is the game. If you guys have games,
first support to ever break 100 wards. That's something I'd love to see. I have seen 25 wards destroyed. I haven't seen 100 wards placed, so I'm excited. I'm very excited. You know, what do you have to do that has got to be very tricky. Because there's a lot of factors that would go into that kind of thing. Misfortune on the flank. Maokai takes the jump across over. They're all positioning for the Infernal Drake. FamiREE wants this. It's a knockup by Factor. The ultimate has hit 3 people here. Factor right now is in a good spot. Poppy sends out a couple people flying. Factor wants to take out Lee Sin. They do take him out. Misfortune sends the barrage and does manage to take out one member. The Mr. Light Blue Sky needs to stay away from Humpty. And Humpdor is in a bad spot. He needs to get away from this as soon as possible. Misfortune takes out another kill and is just absolutely on the rampage. That Misfortune damage is just unbelievably strong.
She is so strong and so fed, and she's playing these fights exceptionally well.
They just don't
have enough tools to get to her and interrupt that ulti. That's all you have to do. Stop the bullet time from happening.
The thing is, the two champions
obviously
that
don't wombo combo for Brand to ulti on top of it. That's just too much for any team to deal with.
Oh yes, definitely. Not to mention the fact that the only the people that can really make those engages, Rek'Sai and Poppy, are unable to get in that position because Maokai is just kind of holding them in a good spot. Lee Sin is just kind of making them focus him instead. So it's just the Sarsaurus Rex is just everywhere and exactly where they need to be. And it's just really strong positioning from the Sarsaurus Rex to make this very easy for her ultimate to land exactly where it needs to land.
Well, Army, let's not count Resurge Red out yet. They still have the tools to make this this game turn in their favor, because it looks like FamiREE, although they have a strong lead, they're not really going for any decisive game-changing or victory kind of movements. They're kind of just waiting and biding their time, and time is exactly what Resurge Red need.
You know, the game has been so far a control ward vision game, and like it has been just non-stop vision fighting. There hasn't even been really any laning split pushing for a while because both teams are just in their position that they feel really comfortable in. So they just want to focus on trying to make the objective be the easiest thing for FamiREE and for Resurge Red to secure. So it's kind of a bit of a similar style to the LCS, I would imagine. You know, it's just like both teams are taking this super seriously and fighting to their absolute best. No split pushing plans, nothing like that. It's all focus on trying to make it so no catches can be made and the damage can come through very cleanly. Nudity was in a tough spot, couldn't seem to be in a bad enough for that type of situation. Right now, Misfortune's still in the base, waiting for some items from what I can gather. It's a 4-man situation. I don't know if Resurge Red is aware of that, but I could imagine why they wouldn't be, because right now, Misfortune is racing all the way there. The wards are not in their opponent's jungle, so they have no idea that's actually a 4v5. Mr. Light Blue Sky, I think,
they're gonna engage right on Brand.
And it looks like Awoken has just been caught out and secured. The ultimate by Maokai to throw them away. And that's a catch that worked out very nicely for Poppy. And that tower will not go down quite yet.
It's just really good by Resurge Red to recognize that they didn't have their main damage source. Well, they only had one main damage source, if you forgive me. And they just engaged on the one that was there. And well played for them.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's be fair. They only killed, Thresh. They didn't kill Brand, and Nudity is just really keeping his head really cool playing this hothead Brand. So.
Right, and he is 100% staying in a good position every single time. It's like there's a wall that Resurge Red has been unable to make happen every single time. So I don't know exactly how or why they have been able to do it so consistently, but they're just Resurge Red they just can't seem to be where they need to be to stop the Brand and the Misfortune.
Just because they can't seem to be doesn't mean they won't be able to make it. It's been now 30 minutes approaching in this game, and both teams have one fire Drake, and the next Drake that's gonna spawn is gonna be another.
Look at all this ward battle going on right now. It's just non-stop ward fighting over and over and over.
In all lanes, actually.
Yeah, in every lane. just non-stop fighting.
Another tank fight down in the bottom lane. Trying to see who gets good position of the minion waves, because that's really what it's all about when you're a tank. Trying to create pressure when there isn't any, and making the pressure be your sixth man on the team. The minions are on your side as well. Use them effectively.
So the split has been set up right now. Daloon has gotten some damage to come through onto Mr. Light Blue Sky, but honestly, I think this is still a bit of an even matchup despite that. Daloon is starting to tell a different tale. That was 700, by the way. 700 heal from that one passive. And Mr. Light Blue Sky has no way to stop that type of sustain, so this is a bit of a losing battle for him.
From that heal.
My goodness, Daloon has no fears right now because Poppy can't keep up with the sustain. With no items that will allow Poppy to keep the regen high, it's only a battle of fatigue here. And it's a battle that it looks like Daloon is winning. Once again, the ward battle continues. Thresh now has almost every single part of the northern half of the jungle secured for his team.
Vision is not just a support thing, it's an everybody thing. And although Thresh is doing an excellent job, I see a lot of people sweeping and a lot of people doing their part.
Oh, yes. One ward seems to be missing here, and Misfortune secures the top tower. Resurge Red playing on the ropes. This is the first time that I've witnessed them being on the ropes in this fashion since their Resurge opponents did manage to come out with a win in their first game. Let's see what Resurge Red's situation looks like right now. As they're playing on the ropes, they were unable to capitalize when they were pushed back. So I don't know how this is going to work out for them. I haven't seen a comeback from Resurge Red anyway.
Comebacks in this meta are rare, but not impossible. It just takes a lot of effort and, again, having a plan and focusing carries. This is kind of sort of a carry meta. If you're playing a Zed or a Brand or an MF or a Vayne, like killing those carries really can turn a team fight around.
Mm-hmm.
But with two Mountain Drakes, one Fire Drake, oof, FamiREE is looking to really put their mark on this series and try and take this victory here soon. 35 minutes into this game, and Baron has been in their complete control, vision-wise, for FamiREE for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, except for right now, as Mr. Light Blue Sky takes out that control ward.
Well, seems like to be a bit of a lot of certain opinions on that regard. Anyway, some people are starting to quote you a little bit. I just noticed in the chat, somebody quoted what you were saying. Killing the carries can turn a team fight around.
It's smart, right? I mean, I'm it's my birthday, and I can shed a little bit of wisdom. I'm a little bit of an older generation of a League of Legends enthusiast. I've been playing quite a while now, and killing carries, it's how it's been done.
Yeah, that's certainly true, but I also want to point out, man, this battle for wards has not stopped at all. It has been going for the past 15 minutes now. Factor does get stunned, but times his dash well enough to avoid being caught out here. Awoken has gotten rid of the ward again, so once again, complete vision control for FamiREE. They're doing the Baron right now. 4,000 on the Baron right now. Misfortune still focusing it. Uses the ultimate because they knew they got the catch. Orianna throws a six-man's out. Here goes Malachi. Brand secures the Baron. But at the same time, Rampage does get caught out here. Daloon is now isolated and alone with 4 people surrounding him. Poppy tries to chase after a very low health Brand, but it's not enough. Brand gets out of there rather quickly, and it looks like FamiREE gets the Baron too.
FamiREE took a very interesting risk in rushing the Baron with 5 members of the enemy team still up. Barely they got it, and barely they won that fight. If Orianna had a little bit more farm, that ulti could have done so much more, and that well placed, but just not enough damage to
Right.
really
I
wreck.
think the next item would probably be some more penetration. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe get the same
I'm
item
not,
that Bran has right now. A Void Staff might be very, very good for Orianna right now.
I'm not really a fan of the Leandri's builds of Orianna, but I
Maybe
guess that's
something cut away at these tanks. Seems like Daloon is definitely a bit of a problem. So is Lee Sin, very tanky, and Thresh seems to also have a lot of health on him as well. Maybe that's the plan of attack for this Villa situation. Bit of a same build direction though between the two mid laners. Hook goes a little wide. Orianna was unable to get secured by Awoken. And once again, the ward battle continues.
keeping vision is going to keep people in this game. And had the, Research Red not been trying to keep up with their half of the war on vision right now, they would have surely lost this game a while ago.
Right. Baron being on FamiREE's side means siege potential does look very good, but it's about the outplay potential. It's a stun lock. There is no chance for Factor to even get a single knock-up on anyone. The stun by the Brand prevents it entirely. Whoa! Did you see Daloon? He just nearly one-shot the dang tower. Whoa! Demolition coming through strong. What do you think about that?
That was actually pretty spicy, their army. But looks like they're gonna push in here with the Baron buff and throw a couple victory ultis and try and finish this right here.
And it looks like that is the case.
One last shot for Research Red. This is now or never, ladies and gentlemen. Orianna ulti is up. She has to go back to Fountain.
And they're slowly picking them apart here. Their chances of winning seem to have slipped right out of their fingers. The ultimate has been used, but it just seems a bit too late. FamiREE takes the first win. 38 minutes on the clock. I was actually pretty close to being correct. I said 30 to 40 minutes, so I was kind of close.
Congratulations to FamiREE. What a good game.
Oh, yes, indeed. Really good game out of them. Let's go ahead and take a look at our statistics since I got my match history pretty early. Thank you very much for being on point, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the statistics right now, folks. If you want to take a look at it personally, just to let you be able to do it yourself. If you want to take a more accurate look for whatever reason, it has been dropped into the chat. But let's take a look at everything as we are about to take a look at it now. Very interesting game. You can take a look at the team gold advantage here. The momentum was kind of even for most of the game, but that one couple of kills by Brand, then the couple of kills by Misfortune, and then the game really started to swing heavily in the favor of FamiREE as their objective control really worked very efficiently. Towers just all over right at the 16-minute mark.
Yeah, FamiREE just looked really comfortable in all their champions. None of them seemed to really sweat it whenever something went well or didn't go well for them in the game. So they do really well.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the ward coverage here. I think we might have a new record, ladies and gentlemen. 90 wards placed by Awoken. 90 wards placed, ladies and gentlemen. The new record for Darkstar Gaming ward placement, 90. Wow, 90 wards, ladies and gentlemen. 29 wards destroyed was also very good as well. But we got to go ahead and give the highest ward destruction by Lulu. 37 wards destroyed. Wow, 37. That completely trumps out Lee Sin's warding at 35 wards. Completely negates it entirely if you put every one of the wards that he did in that match. But as impressive as that is, you got to take a look at the damage output by everybody, and the Misfortune damage seemed to be pretty good, but the Poppy damage seemed to be the highest at 24.8 to the Misfortune damage at 23.7. Clutch Ultimate seemed to be the deciding factor with that, though. But let's go ahead and take a look at other things coming up. But anyway, we'll go ahead and take a look at the quick player builds and their directions and everything, so everybody knows exactly what the kind of strategy that they were thinking and what they were using. Lee Sin's control ward purchases. Every time he backed, he got a control ward. That's not a joke. Every single time, he got a control ward on his way back, except at the end of the game, from what I can tell. I don't even want to look at Threshes, but I could see probably the same thing. The mid laner seems to have the exact same mentality as well. Look at all those control wards. Everybody was a huge focus on control wards in this game, but my goodness. 2 control wards, 1 control ward, 1 controller, 2. My goodness. The ADC bought a control ward every so often, which is also pretty solid. But the Thresh, I gotta know how many that he purchased. He got 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. My goodness, this Thresh just always had a control ward in his back pocket, and multiples of that as well. Wow, that is a very high priority of ward coverage, who definitely wanted to break the record and certainly has it broken at 90 wards placed in game 1 of all things. Wow. All right, well, I think that's finally enough time of taking a look at some statistics. Let's finally get ourselves right back into the next game here. What a birthday, huh, for you? Look at that, a record-breaking amount of awards.
Records and dreams just made my day.
Okay, while we get everything prepped and ready, we'll be momentarily right back, getting some things into position. As you can clearly see, folks, won't be a long wait.
Too much, now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules. Dangerous path that I follow. Oh, go on, just do what you do. As a pain seems to follow, like a shadow dark and cold to the touch. Am I insane not to let go? Oh, go on, just do what you do. And it hurts as I bleed for you, cry for you. Let me bleed as I bleed for you, cry for you. Let me
Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're finally right back into the action.
Not a problem.
It looks like it's game 2 time. Let's see what the new strategy is on the opposing sides here. AoE damage has worked to perfection for FamiREE. To such a degree, it looks like Resurge Rex will not have misfortune. So let's see what the new plan is for FamiREE. As we're taking a look at it, their coach himself appears to be in the lobby helping out his team with the Champ Select option.
Well, I'm liking the MF ban, liking the Israel ban still, Yasuo ban. Who doesn't like banning Yasuo? I mean, you know.
Alright, and Karma also taken away too. Don't want to give that away since they seem to figure it out a pretty good method too. Mr. Light Blue Sky will be losing a ban here for having a roster switch. Wait, hold on. Is there was there an error there?
Not sure.
No, it's another mastery problem. Oh, wow. Huh. Well, what a unfortunate another bug that just seemed to have occurred. Man, I was hoping we would go the rest of this without any more bugs, but I guess that's not true. Okay. Well, we still get ourselves prepped and ready. Hopefully we can get right back into this.
Yeah, sure.
We're back to this in a second here. Oh, the Sarsaurus Rex seems to have had to leave, from what I could tell. No, Daloon. Oh, sorry, Daloon had to go, not the Sarsaurus Rex. The Sarsaurus Rex was actually telling me that Daloon had to go. So now they had to replace it with a different sub.
No problem.
Happens to be FNC Shadows. So let's hope his jungling can really turn very well for him. By the way, If any of you who are curious, NFC Shadows is actually the very person who made all of this equipment and all of this OBS stuff that you see on your screen today. Except for one thing, Cap actually made the thanks for watching, but he's made everything else, and he's put a lot of effort and work into it, and it's without him, you wouldn't have such a quality and crisp stream. So big thanks to him, and if you want to thank him as well, you could also drop a couple of follows onto this, our Twitch here for Darkstar Gaming, and also it would be really nice as well to follow our Discord too, and for the Facebook. Really appreciate that. I know he would. It's what he put a lot of effort into doing and learning.
Oh boy, Army, I'm ready for this one.
As you wish.
Yeah, Ben. FamiREE. Alright, first pick, guys. 10 seconds, don't bug on me.
Last band coming in for Lulu here.
Nope.
Oh, actually, last band's already been secured. Yeah. Oops. Flew right over my head. Lulu being secured for Humpador, who now is the support for their team, and I'm a Fish is now the ADC. Oh no, not another one.
It happens. It's okay.
Well, as you guys can clearly tell, it's another mastery bug. Someone was hoping that that would fix the issue, but let's just hope they can edit their masteries in advance to be prepped and ready. Well, while that happens, we'll go ahead and take another break while everybody sorts out what's going on with this very unfortunate bug. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, folks. Third
Not
time's
a
the charm,
problem.
right? Let's see if we can finally get through this banning phase and finally get to pick some champions.
No problem.
What's up?
Yeah. No, nothing. Me like everybody else. We're just
We must all
waiting to
make our
get it on.
choices.
No cure for fools.
I'm hoping no more bugs, no more mishaps, and everybody is finally ready to get this down and going.
Yeah, well, even like LCS players, they have issues and they have to sit on stage for sometimes when these bugs happen. But unlike LCS, they have the technology
As
to
you wish.
fix it all without resetting everything every time.
Uh-huh.
We just have to remake. Oof.
Lulu
Nar.
secured. Nar has been secured. Okay, seems like there's no more bugs here. So the so apparently the Narvin is what the duo between Nar and Jarvan is. The Narvin.
Yeah.
I never heard of it that way. Have you?
Yep. Everyone has. Oh, I forgot.
Everyone has, I guess.
I forgot everyone except Army.
Yeah.
The Narvin.
Good old everybody. Every single person.
Everybody should be looking at Kane being locked in on
Factor.
Yeah, I mean, Army, you know me personally, and maybe this is shedding a little bit too much personal information about me, but I dislike Kane personally, and I ban him every game. Do I not?
That is 100% accurate, and yes,
And
very true.
I just can't cast this now. There's a Kane in this game. I'm joking. Should be really interesting to see how he decides to pull off the Kane mechanics. It's a feast or famine kind of a style.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting the kind of jungler that Factor is, choosing to play, Kane and Rek'Sai.
I do not
the type of
tolerate
junglers that
cowardice.
FamiREE plays are a little bit more meta reliable off meta tanky stuff.
When you do say meta, I want to also point out that he's speaking of Season 7's meta. Just so everyone knows.
I mean,
Go.
just the general scheme of what is tried and true and played and works well in at least this kind of competitive series and then this ranked. I mean, none of us are professional players. None of us are masters. So on this side of the spectrum,
Playtime's over.
Jarvan is a good jungler.
Mm-hmm. And Ari is the final ban as well
Right
for
on to
FamiREE,
you.
and Twitch seems to be the final ban there as well. Okay, so with this being the case here, what is the biggest drawback for FamiREE here? I don't exactly see a lot, if not any at all, with Awoken getting Thresh again. I would imagine another warding spree. He's probably going to try to set the personal highest warding record for 2 games as well. I don't know what they can do to stop that at this point.
They're building a similar team comp to the one that just won the last game, except that the Wombo combo, instead of being the brand and the MF, the Wombo combo comes from the Gnar. And they're gonna get a good, solid, strong bot lane and Thresh and Caitlyn, and just really be able to harass Caitlyn Lulu, and probably end up getting a ton of early damage on the tower. But wait a second, Vladimir being picked and locked in. I'm a huge fan of Vladimir. They're building an interesting team comp on Resurge. Red.
Yeah, Resurge Red. Although, despite X out the Kane, I assume, right? Interesting, except for the Kane. Urgot has actually been played! What?
And that's when Army lost his ish.
I cannot believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Urgot is actually going to be played for the first time in Darkstar Gaming. My goodness, I've been waiting so long to see if Urgot can fight against a Gnar in a one-on-one situation. My goodness, I'm so happy to finally see the Urgot being played in Darkstar Gaming. Took a couple of weeks, 4 weeks in fact, but people have came around to the idea that maybe Urgot might be there might be something on that Urgot that we might want to apply to our team comp.
Is it my birthday or is it Army Overlord's birthday? The Urgot Cyan 2 trick.
The 2 trick. I love it. I'm slowly gonna add a G somewhere in there, and I'll just be Trick 2G for Natsu.
Well, let's see how we dive into it.
It's confirmed here. Urgot was not a mistake pick. He was confirmed. Mr. Light Blue Sky is going to be using him indeed. So let's see how his method of playing Urgot is going to work. Now, the common Urgot build, since I'm already on the hype train of Urgot anyway, is they usually like to have press the attack and a frozen mallet build, something you've recommended as well to that, and that is honestly a pretty stable one for most Urgots. I have my own type of Urgot build where I have a lot of poking damage and a lot of damage potential on squishy targets, and just try to like take advantage of their lack of ability to avoid the Q. So I go with the Comet style, and the Comet has been working really great for me, especially in the early game. Just lowers the enemy to a very healthy amount, and then you just kind of make your big bursting play on your opponent and surprise them with some burst damage. Now, I don't know what Mr. Light Blue Sky is going to go for, but I know he knows about the build path because I have played it with him, and he has seen me play it, and he really liked its potential against a Gnar. So he might want to give it a go here against Rampage, who was the jungler in the last game, is now the top laner for this game. So let's see how this is going to work, as we will see a lot of plays, a lot of warding, and a lot of control being made. I also want to point out that Urgot is also very fast at clearing ward too. He's got a W that insta clears them.
But let's shed a little bit of light on what we don't know. What we don't know is how well Vlad is going to pair versus the Orianna, or what's going to happen with these jungle matchups. Let's hope that FamiREE gets off to a good start, because with the late game with the team that Resurge Reddit's got, it could get pretty nasty pretty quick. Tristana scaling, Lulu with Trist has always been a strong duo. I don't know what Kane does because I hate him, but he's pretty strong, they tell me. And Vlad is OP, and Army's your Urgot expert on everything Urgot.
That's a pretty honest case here, but it's not very accurate. The late game Tristana Lulu also looks pretty good as well, but I'm noticing a bit of an interest here. They have a very strong team fight in some cases, but I don't know what their chances are against one of the very powerful Narvin bot lane, Narvin crew of top lane and jungle. I mean, about to say Narvin bot. Caitlyn and Thresh, pretty traditional combo, although usually you would see like an Ashe to go with this or something else, but they definitely wanted to have the range. That's definitely was important to them.
Sort of range to get these towers down, and let's not forget that if Orianna played intelligently enough and safely enough, can just put her ball on either Jarvan or Gnar when they go in, or even a good hook flay box combo. They have a really intelligent team comp, and they may have won just off of champion select. Let's find out.
Oh, you know my biased opinion about who won in champ select.
Oh,
100% biased.
I don't even see two of those champions. I guess I'm biased.
Well, we're going around to it. Seems like the Urgot is going with a Glacial Augment versus the Gnar press the attack. Meanwhile, Kane is going with the Dark Harvest. Wait, what?
Yeah, I was gonna keep going.
Okay. Then the Aftershock for the J4, pretty traditional stuff. Looks like a summoner change plan for Vladimir as he took in the unsealed spellbook. Oriana taking the classic summoner Aerie. So pretty good stuff for Nudity. Tristana's going press the attack, and so will Caitlyn. And Lulu taking summon Ari versus Thresh's Aftershock. So a lot of pretty good stuff from both teams here. I'm honestly liking what the situation seems to be right now.
It's interesting that Oriana went Ignite. Nudity, he's an aggressive person, but he's playing a passive AD, mid laner rather. And if he gets an early lead on Vladimir, it could really break this game wide open and not give the Resurge Red team an opportunity to make it to late game and have their scaling dominance be a factor.
So FamiREE has their coach keeping an eye, wanted to be a part of the champ select in particular, so he was kind of the guiding focus of what FamiREE is going to be playing with here. And from what I gather and for what I'm looking at right now, I think their coach definitely had the intent of, we have a very strong we have a strong team fight, we have a strong engage, we have a strong way to get some CC lockdown. Let's keep that type of momentum going. We have Oriana, we have Caitlyn. That's our burst damage. We have our health percentage Gnar. That's really great. I like that. Let's give this a go. Meanwhile, their opponents on the opposing side here, folks, is going to be Mr. Light Blue Sky going up against the Gnar, and Kane, who is also a pretty strong, sustainable champion. So it's kind of going to be very interesting to see how, in this case, if you want to think about it, it's Season 7 for what could be Season 8 going on right now. It could be new versus old. So let's see if that is the case or not.
You may call it new versus old. We'll just call it... call it like we see it. And they're going to be a red buff start for Kane. Going to get a nice hard leash and a blue buff. Both junglers starting on the bottom half of the map, which is going to mean some early pressure, and they're going to meet up.
So, for those of you in the viewing audience who have no idea why Crazy Chris is not exactly the biggest fan of Kane, is there anything in particular that is about Kane's kit that you just wish wasn't in the game at all?
I mean, it's not that his kit is, well, there's a lot of things about his kit. Let's be honest. I'm not a fan of the fact that he can walk through walls, and then walking through walls can heal him. I don't like that. And they just gave him a bunch of transformations. Both of them are OP. Like, why any of that? And it just doesn't make sense to me.
J4 seems to be in the red side of the jungle right now. I would imagine a gank probably happening for Rampage pretty soon, but NFC Shadow seems to be very low fighting that red buff. I don't know what kind of gank NFC is going to happen, but it looks like Awoken wants to make a play against I'm a Fish.
Good play interrupt.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Light Blue Sky going to keep the pressure on that. The Gnar is taking some good damage, but no confirmation on either's intent to kill, as it looks like Rampage is still setting up a little far back. The Kane is now going after NFC Shadow. Shadow takes some good half-health damage, but it does not seem to be anything going on the top side. The rage from Rampage is now coming around. He's got his big Gnar, but neither is going to take any risks to try to force the play here. Urgot taking some big damage. Factor getting wedged between two walls. Nudity is going to go ahead and try to help out this Shadow. Ignite being used by Vladimir. It's not enough burst to take out anybody at this point.
Definitely enough to really disengage and save his teammate. Good by them.
Oh, Woken makes that hook almost look too clean, but doesn't have the mana for the play afterwards, so there's no extra play here. Mr. Light Blue Sky is really adding a lot of damage onto Rampage, as he's just barely staying in the lane and healthy okay so far. Seems to have missed the cue on that one. Rampage is taking a lot of that health percentage damage from Mr. Light Blue Sky. It's almost the opposite of what we were having in the top laning earlier, which was just like consistent wet noodle fights. This is actually more like cannons are being blasted at each other. It looks like Mr. Light Blue Sky attempts a huge play, but has missed the grab that could have been the end of Rampage. He jumps out in the nick of time. Now again, these two top laners are so close to taking out one another.
I think they're just really deciding to bring a little bit of the aggression that they had from last game and bring it right to the middle of this game, or right at the beginning of this game, rather.
Mm-hmm. You know, these two, Mr. Light Blue Sky was playing Poppy in the last game, is now taking a much more aggressive play style, where Rampage was the least in the last game, is already used to being aggressive in general, so wants to keep his ground against the Urgot, despite the circumstances currently anyway. So what's going to be the big factor here is how teamfights kind of work out for both sides. Because one side, you have good ability to catch and burst. The other one has just the same amount, but its area of control with the Jarvan ultimate, the Rampage ultimate, you can just kind of wedge people into a bad position. So that's just how I look at it from there. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like we're getting some... although it's the early game and nothing has really happened as far as 5 minutes goes on the board, and there's no clear CS advantages in any lane. A little bit in the top lane with 10 CS difference, but people are just trying to scale into the game and get their first big item spikes.
Ooh, Rampage.
Contest an objective.
Right, Rampage taking some pokes here. Factor seems to be in a little tricky spot. Decides to make the engage. Shadows tries to get away from this, but it looks like Vladimir's on the chase now. Lasarosaurus Rex is now trading with the Lulu, and they now figure out what's going on over there. Mr. Light Blue Sky thinks he's got the upper hand against Rampage. Rampage is now on the run here. The Urgot makes the catch and gets the first blood against the Gnar.
Good job. On the bot half of the map, though, a little bit of a
just as he gets level 6 as well. And it looks like the damage from the W was really coming out really good for Mr. Light Blue Sky, as Rampage tried to get away from it, but didn't seem to get in a position to do so. NFC Shadows trying to move on. He gets an interception right in midair on the Tristana, but it is sadly no follow-up to make that a capitalization. Hook goes on to the target. No, actually, barely misses. Close one. Just so close. But there's no way to make a good play on the aftermath of it.
Kane is on the bottom half of the map. See if there's going to be some sort of counter.
Urgot seems to not want to back now. He feels like with his ultimate, he might be able to surprise the Gnar. Hook lands by Awoken, and it looks to be nothing on that regard. Mr. Light Blue Sky is now getting some good auto-attacking damage. He tries to jump at him. It almost worked out. He's got a certain amount of health bar. Rampage gets his health back, gets tossed right into the wall, and down goes Urgot. Yeah, down goes the Urgot, as he seemed to have misjudged how much damage he did there.
I don't know if it's misjudged or misstepped, but gonna take a good solo kill for Rampage right there.
Urgot, for Urgot's ultimate to work correctly, you need to be at least 25% of your current health bar. Which means if no matter how much health you have, if you have 25%, you are susceptible to Urgot's ultimate. So that means how you play the ultimate really depends on how low your opponent's health bar is during the conflict. And that's what Mr. Light Blue Sky was trying to force on Rampage. You know, get that health bar just low enough to use the ultimate and then try to get the next damage to come through. Almost worked out.
It looks like bot lane is staying pretty even with 60 to 61 CS about 8 minutes in. Interesting though that Thresh has used a lot more of his pots. He's getting tons of poke from the Trish splash damage and Lulu picks damage, and he's used all of his sustain, so they're actually getting pushed in under tower, and they're gonna get some good damage from Tristana of the tower on the bottom side.
Thresh has got an angle. Awoken goes for an auto, but is not going to be followed up. The hook actually clips right into the Tristana. Great job by the Thresh. Humpador's in a bad spot here. Is able to keep his cool despite the fact that he was almost dead. Tough situation here from both sides. It looks like the Gnar has wasted no business. Decides to go right for the Bramble and the Thornmail. Mr. Light Blue Sky's method of attack might not be strong enough now to get through that heavy armor Rampage is going for. The catch has been made. He's going for the health percentage burst. Rampage is getting some good damage, but it looks like he's going to get the big Gnar. Gets the stun lockdown as J4 is now on the way. The Urgot's running out of options here, but Villa is going to keep the poke coming. He does manage to get the jump across, but that is just going to be locked in. And it's going to now lead to Urgot's downfall as the wedge combo is making that almost impossible to avoid. All the action seems to be at topside right now as no side has been able to take out the other.
There's a lot going on, and they just decided to like spark the ignite thing to get this game going in a different gear. The gank goes really well for top lane, but Urgot didn't have
He
the slash.
does not get a lucky clip this time. He barely misses the hook as he hits a minion. Tristana wants to make the kill happen. The burst was not enough. And it looks like Losarosaurus Rex is going to help out only for a brief time as the Factor comes in and takes the Thresh out. The TP by Urgot has allowed him to try to get some advantage back into the top lane. Rampage continues his advantage right now as he has been getting enough support in the top lane and able to time his abilities efficiently to get the advantage against the Urgot in the top side right now.
Just really intelligent Gnar play by Rampage. Really liking the style.
Right. Rampage also doesn't have a lot of health, which means the shotgun knees by the Urgot is not going to do a lot of percentage damage because it's not really hitting a certain percentage. It's only a good amount of burst. It's not very much. And the Urgot as well has not been able to get his Q damage to come out nearly as effectively yet, from what I can see. Anyway. The Tristana and bot lane going on right now seems to be pretty traditional, but no one has been able to get the true upper hand advantage yet. Rampage now in the big form. He uses stun here. Mr. Light Blue Sky sees that. He's going to try to force Rampage to step a couple of paces back. He does do so. And he's having a bit of a hard time hitting that grab, from what I can tell. Maybe we should get some lessons from Awoken, who's been able to hit a lot of hooks so far. Oh, I mean, except for that one.
Except for that one. Cast the curse on him.
That's the caster curse, yeah. Rampage, barely avoids it and is going to be able to get away. He's going to get some health percentage damage back. Rampage in a tough spot here. Looks like Urgot might have the upper hand. He barely misses the ultimate. Rampage is now going to get some help right away by NFC Shadows. He's going to try one last attempt, and Rampage does get the kill on Urgot.
Rampage.
The camp is real on that Urgot. My goodness. NFC Shadows is putting a lot of focus on that Urgot, who's been slowly overextended each step of the way. Meanwhile, looks like Factor's going to go for the blue buff as he meets an Orianna. The ultimate's being land. Nudity makes that look like a very clean combo.
Too easy. I mean, just really a little bit too greedy. Although, knowing that Jarvan was topside, good play, but kind of just walked through vision.
Yep, and he did go into the blue trinket, which is a very, not a very good commodity. I mean, commodity's not the word. Not a very common jungler item in the Darkstar Gaming series. Usually you want to go for the green one to get the extra vision, but he wants to have the control ward. He wants to have the extra slow factor, which I hope will not backfire against him. Anyway, NFC Shadows is now nearly double. I mean, divided by... No, I should say double for Factor. Factor has double the amount of J4's farm as of right now. Looks like here comes the reinforcement. The knock-up here is going to stop a little bit of that engage that would have been played. Great job, but it looks like Liz might have gotten a little bit carried away, but was gonna say for the Lulu, but I guess that didn't happen either. Nobody
but
dies in that scenario somehow.
Kane going bottom, trying to get a little bit of a scrap going on, knowing that the bottom tower
The
is down.
Tristana is going to get a big burst of damage. He does take out one. Lulu staying right behind, steps on a trap,
Fighting.
and NFC Shadows is going to try to take out the
Fighting.
Lulu. But the Tristana does manage to save a little bit of face, but not enough to save the Lulu. Lulu goes down, but the double kill
What
is
a
still for
clean
Trist.
double.
Factor tries to jump over a rather thick wall, and I do not think that's going to come out in his favor. The stun has been caught between both sides here. Rampage is low enough. He's going to grind, and there's the first ultimate to land onto Rampage.
That's just scary to see. When you're ahead on kills and farm against your lane opponent.
And then Urgot just simply closes the door on that one with a huge ultimate. One of my personal faves, but enough of the biased commentary here. Urgot seems to be taking the top tower at this time. Interesting, decides not to use his W to try to grind it out. He's going to focus on trying to just do it natural. Oh, caster curse again. Caster curse again. Strikes right when you least expected. Villa does manage to get a little damage onto the Ori. The Lulu is there, but the Q only misses by a slim margin. Nudity should be able to get out because of that. Oh, wait a minute! Villa really wanted to take out that Ori on the play, but didn't get the damage he was looking for. And Urgot takes the tower at the top side.
Well, Army, it looks like there's a little bit of a stalemate as of right now.
Oh, very much so.
It's a little bit in the favor of Resurge Red.
Yes.
But the kills are about 5-5 each. Except for these towers, they're just going to try and hold this.
Yeah, these invades by Kane has been working out super well, and it's been very difficult for J4 to really get much of the plays because the only free kill seems to be Urgot in the top lane, and the bot lane has been close, but no cigar. He does manage to get a little bit of the slip up on the Caitlyn, but no way to make the catch. Doesn't have Rask yet, or has the Shadow Assassin to make that a little bit easier. Any case here. Urgot's continued to push on the top side here, going to try to keep his advantage. 5 members of FamiREE in mid, so they're kind of waiting for what to happen next, really.
Well, the Rift Herald's on the board.
The play catch,
like,
no!
Flash.
Barely misses. The hook that could have been the play. Someone was saying Awoken was a god earlier. That's all I have to say about that.
He's probably below 50% of abilities thrown, but you miss 100% of the hooks you don't throw, so you got to throw them out there.
Yeah, true.
Aim at people.
Good 3 control ward sitting in the back pocket of Awoken, so he's definitely either trying to break his own record, A, or B, he's trying to increase his record enough to, you know, probably get the highest total record for a match. Although that's kind of difficult considering when you think of records for breaking for most wards in general, it's definitely like you want to play like 3 games just to be sure. You know, to make it so there's no possible way anyone could ever break a record. So get it all in 2 is very, very challenging. Urgot seemed to have soloed the Rift Herald as he now moves up to the top lane here. Very interesting objective control by Resurge Red as they give him no support. He did it literally by himself. Usually see like a Jax do that kind of thing.
I mean, honestly, if you're smart enough to walk around and punch that thing in the eye, it's soloable by quite a few champions. A lot of top laners, and it's a good move by them.
Ooh, Shadow makes that look like a very clean catch-a-rooney. The Tristana was a little baffled that Humidor was completely caught off balance. Urgot now on the side of the flank here. He is unable to make any catches, but he does get a little bit of poke off. I guess in this situation, you want to make some sort of catch happen, some sort of damage to come through. Mr. Light Blue Sky seems to be taking pulling it out here. They're going to try to dive here, as there will be taking the tower in 1 hit. Mr. Light Blue Sky once again jumps at his opponent, unable to do anything, and Gnar appears to be taking the top tower at the same time, while objectives are being stolen right from out from under FamiREE here. And by objectives, I mean camps.
Camps are going down, towers going down. We're officially making it to late mid-game right now, where vision is going to be really important, and seeing who can stack some dragons and then get good rotations. It's going to really decide who's going to win this game and maybe take this series to one more
Urgot
game.
seemed to have made his own catch. He's going on to Mr. Light Blue Sky. He's in a solo situation against multiple members. He gets the fear. It's actually going to hit multiple members. Urgot gets himself a double kill in the surprise of his ultimate. That's a big play that he just made right there. What the heck just happened?
I'm not sure, Army.
I think you would know better than I would, is what I was assuming you were going to say.
I guess Urgot is just popping off. He's got a really good item flank. He's got his ninja tabbies. He's got a black cleaver. He's got a standard build. And you know what? People just walked into him. They go straight for the Baron. A good decisive.
Don't stop or go or collect $200, but Factor's in a tough spot here. Heals up, going through the wall, and they're going to try to take out the Baron here. Awoken is the only one, and now Nudity is here. They do not have the burst. Ori steals it right from underneath them. The Factor didn't have the smite. What a clutch steal by Nudity. Clutch steal by Nudity.
Wow, really impressive. I'm proud of those guys for just not giving up when they needed to. They knew that it was still early. They knew that stopping this Baron was essential, and they go for it. Orianna, just a game changer right there.
Absolutely, and also what a horribly unfortunate situation for Factor, who was, having a pretty good game of just completely negating the advantages of his opponent. You can even see that his farm is actually higher than both the mid laners and the top laners, and it's really unfortunate to see that that slight mistake has now catapulted FamiREE's advantage back into the match simply from that one play. Now they're going to be able to have a Cloud Drake to go with their Baron. So now everyone's at a good amount of movement speed right here. Let's hope Factor will have a second chance for a Baron, because right now that is extremely unlucky.
Well, the gold is still slightly in the favor of Resurge Red. And although they lost this dragon, they do have a couple of key things in their favor. And that's a fed Urgot, good split pushing jungler, and a strong Tristana who's just waiting to scale.
And despite that, Factor still has a lot of farm as well, and it is a problem, to be sure. Not to mention the fact that everything is kind of turning up Millhouse for him for the most part. It's a really unfortunate play that he just didn't have the smite for that type of situation. You never know if one little play is all it takes to turn it all the way around. 50% indeed is a good assessment, I would say, Anniviator. So the Baron now is going to make this hard for Urgot to really have a way to shove this back out easily. So he's going to have to play it as it is. He will be getting a Blade of the Ruined King soon, very interestingly enough. Again, one of the type of build styles that I have. So maybe he's he's just copying my book here. What do you think?
I don't know. Isn't that what everyone builds? Blade of the Ruined King?
No, I've been seeing a lot of Frozen Mallet press the attack.
Mallets. Well, see, here's the thing, because he doesn't need to build a Frozen Mallet first, because he has, Glacial.
Right.
So...
yeah. Okay, yeah, I see your assessment. I agree.
I seem to be having a little bit of some issues with the spectator.
Oh, a bug on your end, my friend? Are you a little ahead, behind? What's up?
I'm just always, it always paused randomly, so I'm always half a second behind, but I always push on.
Oh. I see. Maybe it might be my end, honestly. I did see a little bit of lag here or there, so maybe that is the case. So, sorry if that seems to be a problem.
Yeah, no big deal. Let's see how they use the rest of this Baron buff. About to time out. We're just trying to push waves and collect some gold.
Which would be a good idea, considering the farming did stop for a good 10 minutes, as the Baron was supposed to be a big play and a big you know, money boost as well as just a big turn for Resurge Red, as they could have capitalized on a huge advantage and getting some siege in, but because of that Baron going into FamiREE, it's now right back to the equal game that is happening here.
FamiREE's in a good spot right now. They're farming, they're pushing lanes, they just got the Baron buff. It's expired just now, but they're looking to get some chip damage poke with their Tristana, with their Caitlyn in this mid tower.
Look like Villa just ran into Rampage. Rampage gets some auto attacks off.
Still
Runs when the
little
Trist
Nar.
shows up. Good call on his part. Definitely don't want to get caught out.
Take a look at this build. He's got a Black Cleaver, a Rando and Zoman, Ninja Tabai boots, and the Bramble vest on Nar. So he's hoping to be a really good, effective front line.
Yeah,
He can only be a front line when he's Mega Nar. So
agreed. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. You want to have a lot of frontline tankiness, because it looks like the Urgot damage as well as the Tristana and Lulu is really working out pretty strongly. And if he's going to be the frontline wall, he wants to decrease every amount of crit damage possible. Mr. Light Blue Sky sees a low target and wanted to take out the Ori. Thresh stops him, as now the siege in mid continues. 5 members are now beginning to converge on the mid lane here, as reinforcements do seem to be coming around here. NFC Shadows having a bit of a rough time so far with this farming department, thanks to all the thievery Factor has been doing in this match.
I mean, that's what King's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Come in, steal your camps and go in through a wall and one shot a carry and then run away again. I think that's what they do. This Kane, however, is playing really intelligent. Got his Moby boots, finished his jungle item, stacking lethality, now has his Dustblade at 26 minutes in. So he's just at the position, and I'm not sure if we can see in the spectator if he's going blue. Yeah, he is Blue Kane. Blue Kane.
Blue Kane is going to go up and make some big plays on Nudity. Backs off immediately when he sees the ball right on top of him. So, interesting call, I would say. Chris Phoenix. For a moment there, I thought that was you. Is that you? Are you Chris Phoenix? Is that your other Twitch account?
Yep.
Oh, so you're the one who told you to kill you now from earlier.
What?
Yeah,
What?
he said kill me now because Urgot was being played. I see your game here, friend. Anyway, speaking of seeing the game here, Baron and the Drake are both about to come off around the same time, so objective control seems to be the next idea. Whether you want to take out the Drake and then Baron, or you want to try to make another sneaky Baron attempt.
Well, they both have one dragon apiece, and they're both air dragons right now. This next one being, another air, it doesn't really affect too much. But
Factor's Kane farm is crazy. Sorry to cut you off. Just that Kane farm is insane.
It's absolutely ridiculous compared to.
Mr. Light Blue Sky does manage to catch out a NFC who was on the run. The slows Factor was pretty solid, but it wasn't enough to make the confirmed catch. Meanwhile, Gnar is still split pushing at the bot side here, has the TP if necessary. Now let's see what kind of burst damage could happen in the short while of this match.
He's just waiting out of vision with a lot of fury stacked up, so if he does have to teleport or fight somebody, he's ready to go mega.
So Mr. Light Blue Sky happened to be going into Mega Gnar, but Urgot seems to be focusing on the farm as of right now. And from what I can gather, it is just a pretty closely contested matchup. We can't exactly be sure who's got the upper hand here, but if I was Gnar, I would feel like I have a pretty good chance of beating that Urgot right now. You had the better armor, you had a good amount of sustain from their Spectre's Cowl, you had a good Bramble going. It's like if he tries to fight you, you can kind of feel like you'd have the advantage. But at the same time, it's health percentage damage that Urgot's doing right now. So I can see that. It's a tough spot.
FamiREE just a really resilient team. They're just playing to their strengths, and they know their win condition. They're just trying to hold and see if they can get any kind of clean picks on carries while they get their split push game working when they're Gnar, who's about to go Mega.
Here comes Oriana for the reinforcements. Mr. Light Blue Sky jumps his way right out of that ultimate, and at the same time, at the Baron, it was almost a catch by Awoken.
Really well.
Tristana's going to go in. Awoken's a little cut off here. Nowhere to go. The burst comes through. Mr. Light Blue Sky is going to try to fight to his last, but does manage to get 2 members to come after him. And the root now landed. N Factor is going to run into a Rampage and a Nudity. Rampage does take out 1, but it looks like I'm a Fish takes out 3.
Wow, that Tristana is really good.
Yeah, that jumping, great positioning off of these jumps. Looks like the final Cloud Drake is about to be secured. Secured. My goodness.
Yeah, well, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get this Cloud Drake. They're gonna have 2, and they're gonna take the fight that was before this. And it's just looking like that Resurge Red. They're not ready to give this one up. They want to win this one with a solid lead. They just need to get the pressure of their minions and maybe even a good Baron buff to secure victory.
Secured. I like that. So, the next question is, for the next strategy for Resurge Red is, do we keep sending Urgot on the flank and just keep setting a 4-on-1 strategy and just keep sending Gnar over to deal with him, or do we, or what do we do now? What do you think?
Well, you know me, Army. I'm a fan of looking at the scoreboard. Looking at the scoreboard, what does it tell you? That Urgot has 4 kills and 4 deaths. You know, he's doing the 1-for-1 strategy. While as Gnar is building for the team and he's playing for the team.
Yeah.
The win condition is gonna be, something. You got to make sure it's a reliable win condition. I've never seen anyone put their win condition hopes on Urgot, but the split pushing is just not working right now versus, Rampage's Gnar.
Yeah, and I'm a Fish did manage to get a triple kill off of the catch that they made on Urgot, so sending the mid laner and a play over did initiate his team to try to make it, win with the number advantage. It was working for the brief time that it was, but who knows exactly what the next strategy is. Right now, I'm a Blue Sky. Oh, Nudity barely gets out of the hands of Urgot. If he made that catch, we don't even know what would have happened to that mid laner.
Probably would have died, but
probably
would
have died.
Dark Pass is really strong.
My goodness, N Factor's farming is on a level I have not seen in the Darkstar Gaming history books here. 266 farm. That's he's almost higher farm than his ADC. Like, he's almost there. And Gnar continues that split, and he's getting some good tower damage, while the fighting for war coverage is still continuing by FamiREE, who is for the first time actually not completely ahead of their opponent this time. Well, not ahead of their opponent.
Wax go out on Baron, but they're going to have to peel off of it because they know that they should just wait. It's a good opportunity for them. They'll find it.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
More sweeps going out, trying to get the vision removed from your own personal jungle, just so you can feel safe on your side of the map.
Well, as long as this match has been going, now I actually feel like I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Be right back, folks. I really have to go to the bathroom. Oh, sorry, Chris. Hold up the fort for me, man.
You got it. Be a good segue into you guys should follow, just, Facebook, Darkstar Gaming, Discord. Go click that stuff. Good stuff. And who do you think's gonna win, or who do you know is gonna win? Here's some bold predictions. Good vision clear in the mid lane. They're trying to get possession of this Baron. Sweeps going out from both sides. Continuous wards being placed. Everybody's dropping more wards. More pink wards. Can't stop. I'm actually really impressed. Maybe Army Overward is a great meme and everything and accurate, but you guys do ward well.
Engage time has been set by the J4. I just came back, by the way. Villa drops his ultimate, but it looks like that might have been a bit of a mistake. Every single ability known to man has managed to make Vladimir get paid price high for that transgression of moving upwards.
I think they're gonna sweep right into Baron now.
As they should. They do have a good advantage right now. Mr. Light Blue Sky is now the only one in the front. He gets caught by some CC, and he's going to get bursted a little bit here. Thrash is now going to be dealing with that situation. Kane takes the catch on the ADC. The grind actually catches out multiple members. And that means that suddenly Darkstar Gaming's Resurge Red has swung it all the way back. I thought that was going to be a really tough fight, but somehow, some way, Resurge Red has managed to get that fight to go their way. This is a repeat of what happened last time. 1,000 on it. The Kane secures it this time, but Urgot pays the price as he gets bursted. The Ori. Yes, the flash as well.
Yeah, wasn't going to get it that time.
Tried.
Well played by Resurge Red, and they're looking like they're going to push in for a victory here. At least get some inhibitor action and then some.
The timers are ticking down a little too quickly, I'm afraid, Chris. They're already got the reinforcements they need, so they're not going to be able to even siege the inhib tower.
You know, you get what you can and you rotate more. It's League of Legends.
League of Legends.
Kane gonna take some more camp and pushing the minions with Vlad.
My goodness, the Kane scaling is just going to get even more and more crazier, I would say.
Elder Dragon is spawned, and they're trying to get some vision on it. I wonder what FamiREE is going to do to stall or try and win this. I think they need this this Elder Drake. What do you think, Army?
It's gonna honestly be really tricky how they play this, because the last team fight kind of proved, like, what they can catch and what they can't catch. The thing is, I think catching the Urgot there and not focusing him enough was kind of the main problem there. They broke off because Kane snuck around the back flank, took out the ADC, and that caused a lot of the rift in the engage, and that was a big mistake that ended up really costing them a lot. Awoken gets caught out here. The Orianna now is going to use their own strategy against them. Kane avoids the conflict. Is going to be able to take out 2 members. Vector, oh my goodness, but is unable to get away from the rampage. Nar comes right back in it. Here comes Urgot storming in. The Caitlyn is going to stop his tracks right there, but oh my goodness, the Kane takes out 2 members, which almost looks like one ability. That Kane looks insane.
Wow, that was actually pretty impressive.
I can see why you don't ever want to play against that. That guy looks crazy.
I ain't a fan, but I might try him now.
I think you might. I want to try him now.
Please.
I can see why Fred likes him so much, too. Fred Frederson, in case anybody at home is curious, likes Kane a lot as well, and I can see why. That is some crazy stuff. That damage is insane. And he's going Shadow, too, so that's a good percentage damage to go with his abilities. I think it's like AP ratio, I think, isn't it? He does AP damage?
I don't think so. But I could be wrong.
Dross Lord, by the way, man. Let's take a look at the situation at hand here. Oh, Mr. Light Blue Sky, I think didn't get the memo. Mr. Light Blue Sky, that's a naughty. You can't do that. You can't drop the match history there, man. That's very bad of you. Looks like we got a bit of a spoiler, so let's find out who wins in the next fight to come. That's very naughty. He's gonna have to learn next time not to do that. Yeah. Don't spoil the match, man. That's not appropriate. Anyways, let's see who's going to come out on top here. in the next fight to come. So we, unfortunately, now that we know the spoilers, a team fight's about to break out, but I don't know who wins yet.
We'll just have to see what happens. Elder is getting cleared the vision.
Nudity takes the crab, so they'll have a bit of a movement speed increase. Rampage does not have Mega Gnar now, so whatever decision is about to happen, no Gnar ultimate is going to be able to help with the CC lockdown. Mr. Light Blue Sky is now clearing out some wards and is heading towards the mid wave. He does have a TP, still doesn't have Mega Gnar yet. Mr. Light Blue Sky trying to move into position, ends up flashing right onto a ward. The J4 is trying to get a good play, but it's too late. The ultimate has completely cut him off from any chance of surviving. Nudity goes down as well. Villa is chasing after a very strong opponent. Factor speed is almost unpregnably fast.
Wow. What an explosive team fight. And that's really kind of game-deciding team fight that,
Oh, yes. That could be the end of the game here. With all of the carries are gone. All that's left is Thresh and Gnar. I do not know what Gnar has left in the tank, but he's got the Mega Gnar coming, so he might have one last chance to throw him off. Thresh is there, pushes off the tower. The Mega Gnar is here. He needs one last attempt. Hook has landed, but the towers are falling so fast, they're not going to try any last plays. The ultimate throws Mr. Light Blue Sky into the fountain, but the game is over. And ladies and gentlemen, this will be the first ever third match of a best of 3 that wasn't with Resurge, but it turns out with Resurge Red. Who would have guessed? The Resurges are the kings of the third match of the best of 3. Anyway, folks, as you saw earlier, there was a match history that was selected and grabbed. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, shall we? While I go ahead and get it prepped up and ready, let me get some music ready for the third match. I'm so excited because this is going to be awesome. I finally get to play I finally get to play my third, my Game 3 music, which will be coming up pretty soon. For now, folks, this is the match history that we're taking a look at right now, folks. Here you go. A pretty interesting little matchup here. Momentum was kind of the key factor for what has happened. And that Baron secure by the Ori, as well as the tower taken at the same time, as well as the Cloud Drake, was really just what swung the favor back into the opponents on that side. The Narvin, usually you don't see that type of duo fail. At least it hasn't failed yet. Let's see what the next match has in store for us here, as we see a little bit of that momentum continue to swing and upward, and blue side just seemed to have control for a lot of that game. Yeah,
it was a good decisive victory, aside from the Baron.
Well, looks like Thresh has managed to almost beat his own record. 88 wards placed, 33 wards destroyed. So he's gotten a very high ward destruction count. He also can purchase a total of 23 control wards. I'm going to have to slow down for a second. Going to have a heart attack. Okay.
Yeah, that game was pretty exciting. Don't have a heart attack. There's one more game that you have to live for.
Do we? Can I just die? That's so many wards.
You can't die.
I can't die. Ah! All right, so let's take a little bit of a number estimate here. 90 plus 88. I believe if we take it off from 100, that would be 22 off of 100. Sorry, off of 200. So that would be 178 wards. Someone do some Someone do quick math. Is it 178 wards, or am I counting that too low, or is it 188?
Army Overlord, ladies. What about damage done?
Oh yeah, you're right. Damage done. The Tristana has the most damage in this game, 25.3. Pretty good, pretty good. Ori with the Baron Steel from earlier has 22.6 damage. Very good. The Caitlyn damage was 10, which is a bit surprising for a Caitlyn. One thing that was also a huge surprise here is that amount of minions killed. He killed a lot of jungle camps. 222 neutral minions killed. Which is, in case you don't understand, that's monsters as well. 45 of the enemy camps were destroyed as well. That's, like, really taking advantage.
Really, really good.
Yeah, that's really taking heavy advantage of players' positionings as well. So this is going to be the build path towards everyone's builds. Looks pretty good for what I can gather. And as you can see here, who's placing the wards and what. The mid laners have dropped their... You know, the mid laners are almost becoming supports with how many control wards they buy, Chris. What do you think of that?
I mean, if you can't control the wave and the vision around your lane, then you're not playing the game at the right level. You know, you got to be able to control what side of the jungler either the opposite of your jungler is or the same side, so you can retreat into or be prepared for a gank on the other side. Really good on both teams on the vision.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. Okay, so get this, ladies and gentlemen. Thresh has bought 1 control ward at the start, then 3, then 2, then 3, then 2, then 3 again, 2 again, another 2, another 3, and another 2. He has bought multiple control wards multiple times. And I'm starting to actually think this is a bit self-destructive, in fact. Take a look at it at this perspective. He's putting a lot of money into these control wards to the point where I would dare say he's actually not buying the items required that could have actually have helped him out in the later half of the game. Because look at this. He has a Knight's Vow. He has the Eye of Equinox. And that's it. He doesn't have anything else. Their other items aren't completed. He actually might be a little self-destructive in that sense. He might actually be warding too much, ladies and gentlemen.
It depends on how you value, the game and vision. Maybe there's got to be a point where it's got some diminishing returns kind of effect, where you're spending too much and you're not using it effectively. But if it's just one slot where you keep 2 or 3 control wards on you at a time, not really that bad of a deal.
Oh, that's how you get that one. Okay. Ward position. Can I actually show ward's position? Someone's definitely going to have to show me about the ward position later. Star Fox, man, I don't know what you mean. I just made fun of him, if anything. Somewhat. There you go. 178 wards. Nice. But I feel like having that many wards might not be a good idea if you're not completing your supporting items. I don't know,
Army.
I don't know.
But getting prepared for Game 3, is there anybody you think that's coming to mind for maybe a play of the series that's bubbling to the surface?
There's so many. It's impossible to tell at this point. Either team can
have to start off by thinking in Game 1, honorable mentions to Maokai, and honorable mentions to the role-swapping bot lane.
Oh, yes. Agreed. I can agree to that. You're supporting Crazy Chris. I know it's your birthday, but I don't know if they're ready for the Crazy Chris support.
I think everybody's super ready to get this.
Yes, everybody's super ready to get this going and underway. So let's go ahead and see if both teams are ready as we finally get to play one of my favorite songs, The Finalizer. Because it's finalizer time, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the final countdown.
Copyrighted, can't sing that.
I can sing whatever I want.
Copyrighted.
I invented it. I wrote that song.
Oh, you did? So we have permission then?
Yep, I know it.
Alright, good.
Yeah, man.
Okay, folks, it's go time yet again.
Let me get in there.
Let's see what the strategy is for both sides here. Who was the big factor? Who wasn't a big factor?
Not
and
a problem.
who's going to come out on top? Because honestly, this is neck and neck even from the way that these games have been going so
I
far.
recommend skipping.
Yeah, and it's been pretty interesting. Both have different styles, but both are effective styles in this
True.
meta.
Absolutely.
And, you said it in like game 2,
Who
like new
dares
versus
defy
old,
my
but I
will?
really think it's kind of something like that. There's a lot of new champions, new mechanics, new rune pages, and on the side of Resurge Gaming, and on FamiREE they have like a lot of competent, tried and true, like legacy victors. You know, champions that have world champion skins. There goes the Kane ban right away. Maybe not right away, but definitely
all make our
acquired Kane
choices.
ban. Taking away Lulu support is good. Good bans all around. MF, Jarvan, Karma. Let's see what they get for first pick on FamiREE side. I'd like I like Rampage on carry top laners. I'd like to see him on Gnar again, but
Well, there you have it. You get what you asked for. And Gnar seems to be the pick at that situation. They confirm it as well. So what worked against him last time seemed to be Urgot. I don't suspect Mr. Light Blue Sky is going to take Urgot again just to prove a point, because they don't have, Kane for that burst damage on the ADC. So I don't know what the idea is really. So what is he going to take? 0 seconds on the clock right now. Mr. Light Blue Sky is going to make up his mind. He takes the Yasuo.
Yasuo. Interesting.
Yasuo being secured. Riven seems to also be an option as well.
Does the Yasuo mid and a Riven top? Or not?
Yeah. Twitch being hovered as well. Sejuani is going to be secured. So they left out Maokai. So that is something that could be an issue, because I know NFC Shadows does play a little bit of that Maokai, but then again, he might be picking ready for the bot lane and might want to wait on his jungler option, depending, really.
Well, let's talk about the Sejuani pickup. It's actually really strong, but uh-oh, there goes Rammus.
Rammy Rams being secured here.
Rammus. Ladies and gentlemen. Really good champion. Underrated right now, but definitely moving up the ranks as far as strength in junglers are concerned, with the Aftershock being really strong on him, just adding a little bit more to his kit. That was really, really powerful. Cannon being locked in. Interesting pick there. I'm
Some
not
extra
sure what
AoE control seems to be the plan. They have a lot of AoE damage. You know...
If this,
Sorry, go on.
if this Diana gets picked in, yeah, Diana gets picked. I was actually expecting a Malzahar to be picked right there.
Some sort of snowball comp seems to be what Resurge Red really feels pretty good about. So, that seems to be the idea. Very snowball-y as well. If Diana could get a really good couple of kills, that is almost devastatingly strong. But then again, you can say the same about Yasuo too.
Yeah, but I think Diana is easy to handle as far as like snowballing champions that make your life hell. And Yasuo's been out as far as for a few years now, and as everyone knows how to deal with Yasuo at this point.
Sharpening my
They're far
feathers.
more obnoxious in the game than Yasuo. And you know what they have for Yasuo? They have a haunt on Ramen. Gonna be interesting to see what they do. And that's why they pick up some early magic damage to kind of round out their mixed damages on the Resurge Red team.
I'm starting to notice a bit of a pattern with these knockups. Sejuani and Diana have a tiny baby knockup. That's just enough time for Yasuo to get his own ultimate off.
Yeah. I'd like to see maybe a Blitz come out with support on Resurge Red if they are doing this
No
new
problem.
school stuff.
Ezreal here is the final band for FamiREE.
I was really interested in seeing these next 2 picks. It's going to change the way the comps are rounded out. Vayne being picked up, so they are definitely trying to do some snowballing.
Absolutely, and Vayne's a really strong one against Aramis, able to cut with true damage, but honestly, it's the early game that is making Ramus so powerful. Garen is about to be okay, good, I was about to say. Whew, Garen?
I'm going to pick Garen when we get out of this.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Ashe is the final secured option. So Liz is going to take Ashe. So what is Awoken support here?
They banned Caitlyn, and they picked Vayne. So they knew that Vayne was going to be an option. So picking Ashe into it is just a little bit interesting for me, as the Zarasaurus Rex is back on.
FamiREE taking Thresh for possibly the final time here. Actually, it is going to be the final time here, and Janna being secured for Vayne.
Janna Vayne versus Ashe. If this Thresh Woken has been playing as well as he's been, Janna could be really caught out easily with some hook and some taunt from Ramus.
Yeah, very strong disengage for Janna here, and I think it's a good call because now they can kind of semi-direct when the engage is going to be and when it isn't. Another issue about Ramus is it is quite difficult to surprise your enemy with a play. Usually you have to use the flash to just kind of make sure it's a surprise catch. But you see a Ramus coming, even though they have an insane amount of movement speed, you can see them coming and you can kind of prep and get ready for it. Where there are champions that you can just instantly jump onto people, and that's pretty strong too. So I don't know how this is going to work out for FamiREE here, as they're going back to their AoE style of combat to try to AoE through them.
Prediction, Army. Who's going to win?
It's true. I was feeling good about Game 2 when I said FamiREE was going to... Sorry, Game 1 when I said FamiREE was going to win that one. In Game 2, I kind of had a biased opinion saying Urgot being on a team means they're going to win. But for Game 3, I have genuinely no idea, because it's all or nothing from Resurge Red here, as they're betting everything on their front line cutting through this very heavy and strong FamiREE team. Meanwhile...
Yeah, I mean, here's part of the issue. Ashe, as an AD carry, just doesn't do a lot of damage.
Resurge Red.
And if FamiREE and Lysaurus Rex don't get a good early lead or get Ashe ahead or snowballing or some sort of effectiveness in the game, I feel they may not have enough damage to make it through the Sejuani and the Yasuo and all of the threats that they have to deal with from Resurge Red. I really hope that both teams take in consideration what their win condition is, take this game seriously, and win.
Okay. I think I made it. Oh, well. I'm probably going to get fired for that later. Looks like I made a slight error. With the tags, I didn't switch to Resurge Red. I have Resurge tags up there the whole time. Oopsies. Oh, that's why I've been saying DSG. I'm looking at their club tag. Their club tag's DSGR. That's why I keep calling him DSG. I knew it. I knew there was something about it.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It happened.
What a long couple of games. We started at 6 p.m. and now it's nearly getting close to 9.
Well, you know.
Yeah, no. Again, Chris, thank you for helping me. This would have been insanely hard to deal with if I had, if I didn't have anybody at all. So thank you.
Easy peasy. I do this in my sleep. And
What are you? Wait, hold on. Are you asleep right now?
I won't lie. A little bit. I mean, as much as I enjoy casting with you, and I've done some casting with you before, I like playing, man. Like, we could play
I know
this.
I essentially took you away from your friends that you were celebrating your birthday over, and I still kind of feel bad about that, honestly.
It's alright. No big deal. Alright, well, let's get back into the final game. Week 4. FamiREE versus Resurge Red. Both teams have one game, and this is for all the marbles.
Yep, the final clutchest match of this Sunday afternoon, or in this case nighttime, is about to begin.
I know who's gonna win,
You do?
but I can't spoil it like the guy in chat last game. So
Oh,
just keep it close to the chest.
all right.
Interesting.
Yep, a lot of the same type of style here. Press the attacks between the both top laners. Aftershocks from the tanks in the jungle. Same everything, actually, except for Janna, who happened to do the opposite of Aftershock. Everybody had the same runes. Interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, those runes are strong, so use them.
Oh, yeah.
I really hope that Nudity has a good kind of pop-off game. If Nudity falls behind on Diana lane, and Ash falls behind on the Vayne Gale from I'm a Fish, it's gonna be really difficult for those guys. There's just not a lot of damage sources on FamiREE's side.
Well, the level 7s are showing that Ashe and Thresh are very much experienced with these champions in this lane, and the championship skins say, we've got synergy, what do you got? And I'm a Fish says, well, I'm team 3 skin here. So, I don't actually have a skin, but I can play Vayne, I think. Yasuo being the level 7 is experience, which likes Blue Sky. I've seen it happen before. I've seen the ups and downs on that Yasuo. Let's see if there will be any more in the tank for both of these teams, as fatigue should be settling in.
I'm excited for this one, guys. Are you? Who's gonna win? Predictions in chat, please.
Who's gonna win? Woo!
I don't know. Vayne is pretty strong right now. You know, I love that 80 carry role, and I can talk 80 carry stuff with anybody for hours. But
I just realized I actually have the right ones. I actually have the right Resurge one. I knew it. I knew I had the right one. I don't know why I felt like I didn't have the right the right tag in on the channel. But I did.
You had yourself a 5-man Death Brush from FamiREE on the bot side of the map.
Perhaps a surprise catch is what they're looking for this late into the night. But they seem to be a little bit predicting it and have played it in a very passive manner and hiding in the lane.
Just a little bit of a ward getting dropped to see where Sejuani is starting. It backfired because they always do this. It's a little bit predictable at this point. They always do a 5-man kind of a thing. So they never have someone protecting the other side of their map. And it looks like they may just kind of hang out and not decide to take anything. Ah, the old switcheroo. Then go to blue. Smart or smart? Well, either way, they're gonna see that. They're gonna see her do this buff start. Red Rammus start. Interesting start for the Cannon. Cannon on Nudity on Cannon rather, playing with a Cull, prioritizing farm and Cull on Cannon. I've actually seen it before. It's really smart and really potent, especially if you played a little Cannon. You know how to play safe enough to get that.
Nudity is gambling on it as well. His damage output would be a little bit less than the average. But then again, auto-attacking from a distance is usually a safe bet anyway. You never know what kind of ganks you're going to get. Awoken has managed to hit the flay. He does hit the hook here. Liz has been able to get the damage to come through, and the Thresh uses his own flash to secure it as well. The Vayne has gone down early after 2:30, no less. Early kill. That is going to be a little catastrophic and a good advantage for Awoken, who was in the last game unable to get a lot of assists or kills, and that kind of put him in a tough spot.
I mean, if you're going to play Vayne and you're going to start Doran's Blade versus a Thresh with Ignite and then take a hook at level 2 after you use Tumble, yeah, it's going to be your death.
So here we go. Rampage is still fighting Mr. Light Blue Sky. Mr. Light Blue Sky does happen to be pretty low, and so does Gnar. But the game for Yasuo is to keep running. Keep that momentum coming. Keep it moving. So he can get his passive up again, so he can try to against Rampage again when he has it. And there you have it, folks. He did it again. But here comes NFC Shadows. Mr. Light Blue Sky needs a Q to land. He doesn't get it to land. He misses. And that's going to cost him his whole life bar, as he knew he had no chance of getting out of that one.
Yeah, you knew you weren't getting out anyway, because once you saw the Rammus, so you didn't have to waste your flash. Especially, that's just my opinion. Have some summoner discipline, guys. This is coming from a championship-winning coach and team owner and former player.
Yeah, I think people might have forgotten that piece. Awoken times everything pretty well. The damage is able to get through. The Vayne does not have a flash, which means Liz, also without one, cannot seem to get the gap close on Awoken's catch nearly as quickly, and that is why Vayne will barely get out of this situation.
Sarsaurus Rex really playing to the strength of the mastery. Press the attack, doing so
much. The hook actually was a prediction by Awoken again, and Liz gets another free kill. Liz gets another setup for a good kill. He's going to try one more. The flash by the Janna makes it so Hopmador does not go down. My goodness, this is really good for FamiREE.
Yeah, 3-0, 4 minutes into the game. It is a good start. And it's on the people that you need to have a good start, their bottom lane. And putting behind a Vayne early is super important.
Oh, yes. Cannot agree more.
And with Yasuo having one death too already, this is going to get really difficult for Resurge Red.
So far, Villa seems to have the number of Nudity. If the Diana gets an ultimate pretty soon, we might see him go in to make the play on Nudity if Nudity doesn't have the level 6. Shadow is on the side here, waiting for his opportunity on Villa, but it looks like to Nudity's good fortune does get the level 6 before, which means Villa's attempt could not work out for him if it goes poorly.
Ooh. Yasuo with the footwork.
Yep, good dancing feet from Mr. Light Blue Sky.
Light Blue Sky is a really nice guy.
Clearing out a control ward factored makes it so he has some vision in that area. Good work. As he now seems to be invading the Rammus, might be a bit of a risky play for Factor.
Super aggressive bot lane.
Awoken has been able to make that look almost effortlessly easy. He has almost complete control of the bot lane. The way he's been engaging has been working 3 times over, and it's almost a guarantee catch in these situations. This is almost completely the opposite of what's happened last time, as a pause seems to be coming in. I do not envy tomorrow's pauses, yesterday's pauses, because as you don't know about this, Chris, but there was 5 pauses between the 2 teams in the last time, and that was a really long game because of it.
Wow.
Fatigue is starting to hit me, man. I'm starting to get tired.
Oh, no, man. I just found some snacks. I went to the movies today. I saw Justice
You
League.
found some snacks? I want to find some snacks.
I got peanut M&Ms and jelly beans and a bunch of other stuff. I could have this game go to 5. Let's go to 5 series.
Nope. I'm dying. I need food. And we're not supposed to eat on air anyway, so make sure you have yourself muted when you're eating. So, lucky you. I got stuffed shells downstairs, and I want to eat it so bad, but I can't.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
I know, but I want to eat.
Now with their lead, FamiREE just kind of trying to get some turret damage. There goes the teleport bot lane.
Awoken is in a bad spot here. Factor has hit Lasarosaurus.
Wow.
Awoken might have been able to get out there, but it is going to be so many members with the gap closing to secure that Awoken will finally die. I put a lot of emphasis on the dive heart, as it looks like Cloud Drake is the next objective. Kennen is sieging the mid tower, and Diana is moving up. Shadows gets the taunt onto Mr. Light Blue Sky. Mr. Light Blue Sky is almost dead and will not fall, and Nunity's got to run. Stun, great timing on Nunity. Completely negates Villa's engage. And I'm glad my number 1 fan is here, but my goodness, I'm just so tired. Out of energy is what I'm feeling. I got my Urgot game. I want to go home.
Well, this game is going to come to an end eventually, and someone's going to win, and someone's going to go home the loser. Let's find out.
Both very determined to prove that the other one should lose this match. Anyway, Factor, be careful, man. Oh, wait a second. Liz does hit the ultimate. He actually takes out the jungler. And Awoken has distracted long enough for Liz to get the Drake as well. He gets himself a double. Liz's kiting is working well for him. Villa is in a bad spot.
Oh my god.
He gets himself reinforcements and gets himself 4 members down. Lasarosaurus grabbing a whopping 3 kills. Wow. Great timing by Nunity.
That was
unbelievable
so
concentration from Lasarosaurus Rex. She did great there.
Really impressed. Well done. Top lane, there's still a little bit of a fight there. Some mid lane siege. Nudity.
NFC Shadows.
See the sense of urgency in their top laner. Trying to do just so much, and that's why there's going to be a little bit of a camp happening down here.
And as well as topside, Yasuo goes down, and N Factor could not get there in time to save his Yasuo.
Unlucky.
Unlucky indeed. NFC Shadows is now doing some invades of his own as he tried to jump the Sejuani. Diana's coming. NFC Shadows has got a bail, and he will do so using the Blast Plant. Ooh, Rampage catches out a Yasuo unprepared. NFC Shadows gets in time, gets the stun lock. That's a burst by Shadows, and Gnar makes that look very easy.
Well played by both of them. Kind of just wait for Yasuo to walking into
Familiar
Vision
territory. Yeah. Oh, Awoken! The god
3
himself
thresh
tries the
in a
hook and
row.
just only narrowly misses. The champion synergy continues between these two. Uh-oh. Seems like something just started burning. Hope something... I'm a bit concerned about that, folks. I'm actually going to go ahead and check on what's going on. It looks like something just started burning. Could you cover for me, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. Be right
Looks
back.
like it's gonna... Well, Janna's gonna live through that, but their bot lane is 0-5 and 4, so they're gonna get pushed in on. Let's talk about the CS lead. 95 CS on Gnar versus Mr. Light Blue Sky's Yasuo. Tower's taking tons of damage bot lane. Thresh goes a little bit too deep trying to dive. Gets condemned under tower. There goes the Sejuani ultimate. Teleport coming in from the blue team. It's not quite a disengage. Rammus does arrive. But the fight's over. Boy, FamiREE are doing such a swell job. Yasuo is just not being as effective as he needs to be. He needs to be dominating in these 1v1 matchups so he can be split pushing and being some kind of provider for... And he just kind of loses that fight pretty easily to Gnar, who just chips him down while he's dancing around minions doing not a whole bunch. Also, side note, I hope Army's house is not on fire. Boy, it feels bad being Vayne and being so far behind compared to an Ashe. Getting dove behind your own tower with some fancy condemn work. Oh, but takes a flay. Not a hook, though. 3v3 on the bot lane. Vayne's going in. Does shut down Ashe. Can he get the second one? What a play, ladies and gentlemen. Not quite sure. What a quick turn of events. Being so far ahead, I think they were just a little bit too cocky, and that dive was a little bit too much for FamiREE. Diving Vayne with a Sejuani jungler was gonna get turned. Handing Ashe her first death. Yeah, Janna and Sedge KS. I'm gonna go and try and get this red Drake. Taking the vision off of it. Thresh box goes out. TP coming in from top lane. Gnar in mega form. Takes out the wards. Starting up the dragon. Sejuani ulti goes out. Vayne from the side. Thresh goes down. 2-shot, 3-shot. Janna ulti's a little bit early. Oh, there goes Ashe taken out from Diana. And it's just a fiesta as Diana comes for the cleanup. Vayne stays untouched and goes on a rampage. Yasuo wasn't even there. Wow. All of you people who called Resurge red, for winning this. They still got a chance. Is this the comeback? My heart can't handle this. Should be interesting to see how this goes. We're only 16 minutes into the game, ladies and gentlemen. It could be anything that happens. Everyone, just take a quick look at the scoreboard. Tell me what you see. I see Yasuo down in CS. I see Sejuani up barely. I see Diana down barely. I see Ashe up barely. I see a close game. The gold lead is slightly in the favor of FamiREE, but it's barely noticeable. As Rift Herald is on the map, and mid lane towers getting chunked down hard. Ooh, Diana goes in. Here comes the team to disengage. Diana barely survived. Definitely dies though. Here comes Gnar, going mega. 1 auto, 2 auto, jumps away, flings them into the team. A wombo combo. There's a stun. Yasuo tornado hits nothing, and they're gonna get this tower. And out of nowhere, FamiREE say, "No way, Jose. We're trying to win this game today."
Crazy Chris.
What's up?
Okay, so
Johnson?
yeah, I got a couple things sorted out, but I wanted to let you know. I feel a little bit not so great, and what I mean by that is I kind of feel a little weird. So what I'm gonna say is, could we switch positions so you're play-by-play and I'm color?
Yeah, I don't even know what those things mean.
What it means is I kind of feel like...
Arming. It's fine. Go.
Okay, cool, thanks.
All right.
Alright.
Herald's getting taken. Vayne going for red buff. Clearing out some vision. Hoping to stall into late game. What a crazy turn of events. You didn't miss much, Army, because it happened in the blink of an eye, but what happened was a little fiesta here, a little fiesta there, and Resurge Gaming's back in the game. And there's a comeback of brewing, says the chat. Kennen getting his farm up there. Booba spawning, so just gonna take this one. Thresh is all over this map, providing vision and sweeping and cleaning behind his team and for his team.
Yeah, and it's been working out pretty decently for him. Like, although, I don't know if it's working out a little too well for him, honestly. Like, I feel like it might be... Like, he's good, he definitely wants to break the record and everything, but I'm just a little worried.
A taunt goes out in the jungle. Just a little bit of a trade taunt. Just to say that I'm here and I have this ability and I don't mind using it anytime I get close to you. Teams are assembling in the lane. Maybe something's going to pop off, but looks like it's all about the vision as Thresh clears out some wards and, you know, Gnar's trying to split push on the bottom afterward. Here comes the dive, and the taunt goes out. Ashe is there, and there goes Yasuo. 0-5-0. Yasuo is just getting decimated. Just
Mr. Light Blue Sky has been very hit or miss with his Yasuos as of late. When he's been used at a time, he either gets a really good couple of games or a very bad one.
Something's happening here at the Baron. It looks like there's going to be a slight kind of fight where it looks like Resurge is trying to disengage. A flag goes in. The hook does land. Ultis are flying. There goes the Gnar right into the wall. Double kill for Gnar. But wait, this fight is split on 2 halves, 3 halves, and what a mess it turned out to be as FamiREE comes out on top of that fight. Gonna activate the Rift Herald right away, and then
very good coordination, really. Just the commitment to try to make those catches. It's just really exactly what FamiREE needed to have happen, and that worked. That really worked.
You're gonna get this Baron easy pickup. The Rift Herald distraction is definitely a trick that I like to use. Use the Rift Herald right after you get it, around 20 minutes, and get some pressure on Baron.
I mean, I think the idea why Mr. Light Blue Sky, 1, didn't pick Urgot, and 2, picked Yasuo is because he felt like he'd have a better chance of survivability with a champion he's a little bit more comfortable with. Doesn't have that kind of comfort with Urgot, at least from what I can tell, but his decision and his pick here really has been the influence to the reason why his team is struggling a little bit. And whether that means he might want to start thinking about his actions in the future or not, he definitely is influencing stuff.
Out.
He's definitely influencing how the performance is. First game.
It's 22 minutes in. 2 Drakes on the side of FamiREE. The pressure is on for Resurge Red as they're going towards the bot lane to push.
You can also feel the influence change as well with Factor. Because he's not playing Kayn this time. He doesn't have a ridiculously good thievery going on. Shadows is actually able to keep up with the farm category instead of being plundered so many times. So it's like the game is definitely much different from their last outcome. Ultimate goes in here.
Teleport on the right-hand side, left-hand side rather. What a chaotic fight. And looks like they're gonna get this bottom tower and inhibitor and maybe much more, as Lissar's Rex on Ashe is now 7-2 and 10, playing exceptionally well. I'm low-key impressed. Are they going to go for the victory here? Baron Buff going 1 tower down. There goes Rammus going straight for their backline. Gonna get taken out by I'm a Fish on Vayne. And it stops the continuance of the finishing of the game.
You know, I would have imagined Rammus would have just, tried to force the tower down with his ultimate. That's kind of what I expected him to do. But then Shadows decided, maybe I should try to get their attention away from my teammates and invade, try to get behind them and just try to make it so that it's hard for them. So,
well, I mean,
I don't know.
Hey, maybe it's greed, maybe it's jitters, maybe it was a miscommunication, but they're still in the driver's seat, regardless of how deep that Rammus went.
Yeah.
We're about 24 minutes into this game. Baron Buff still on a couple key members. Rampage on Gnar, trying to get this Yasuo. He's going to get away. Pressure on the mid lane. What's going to happen? Resurge Red. What a condemn. Not going to get anything off of it. Just not afraid to use abilities. Gnar has that Black Cleaver and Frozen Mallet, so he is doing tremendous damage and CCing people with every auto attack. Gnar.
The all or nothing comp that they've certainly established here is starting to lose some momentum drastically, as those aces and those quadra kills that happened earlier just kind of feel like they've got complete control of what's going on.
The mid lane tower goes down. Hook goes out, doesn't hit. There goes the wind wall straight to the Ashe ulti. The backline gets hit by the Sejuani ultimate, but it's just a little bit of disengage, saying, please get out of our base. We want to continue to play.
Well, that Rammus moving up was exactly what they needed for that situation, because that completely forced back Resurge Red, where Sejuani hit the ultimate. That could have been the engage, but the NFC Shadows pushing the Vayne back made it so that wasn't an engage. So great job by the Rammus.
Let's see if they get another stop on top lane. Bane clearing the wave. Hook goes wide. TP on a minion that isn't taking a turret. A little bit questionable. A little bit of a slight error. You know. Just run it. Oh my god, this client is bugging out.
It is?
Yeah, it just keeps lagging. I have to keep fast forwarding.
Oh, okay.
It's lame.
Yeah, you're going to end up ahead of me, I think, at some point.
Oh, well.
Siege seems to be
Cannon.
continuing for FamiREE. They do not want to reset. They want to continue to keep
Hook
that advantage.
land.
Awoken's hooks have been absolutely and astonishingly strong. The Yasuo going Frozen Mallet here is a bit of a concern, I would say. I don't think Frozen Mallet's the good call. What do you think?
I mean, you already have 1v1 potential from your Phantom Dancer. The Frozen Mallet health and CD isn't terrible. I mean, you're already behind a tremendous. I don't see any item being.
So the siege is still continuing. The wave at the bot side is starting to break into the base. They have to send somebody, and I think that's the time when somebody is sent that they can make an engage with Rampage's ultimate.
Baron is up in 33 seconds. Let's see what happens. Tons of vision on both sides of the map. Resurge Red inhibitor is going to be respawning soon, so if they just stall and let their inhibitor come back up and maybe get a Baron stop, they could be in this game still. Right now, they're on the back foot. Tons of vision getting set out around a giant purple worm in the middle of the world. Hawk shot arrow from Ashe, seeing where everyone is on the red side of the Resurge map.
Hook just barely misses. You know, it's only mistakes that could lead to FamiREE's victory here. Misplays is what it takes.
As Gnar is trying to is soloing the dragon on the opposite side of the map, gonna get a free inferno.
That is another bit of a mistake on Resurge Red's side here.
They need a good pick, and they could get a lot of objectives and maybe even win. FamiREE hiding, starting the Baron buff.
While Awoken is now spotted, they should be aware of the Baron being taken right now. They don't seem to be aware of it at all, actually. Now they might be moving into position to look. They did now find it out. Mr. Light Blue tried to steal, did not pay off. Rammus' smite secures it. But they still have a Yasuo caught out. And I think they just realized it too, so goodbye, Yasuo.
Nope, they just had to wait for the timing, because they were going to get attacked by Van from the outside of the wall. But, oh my god. Quick thinking on the Great Flash by Nudity. The hook lands! Another amazing hook flay combo from Thresh. Not going to get much more off of it, but they are in retreat. Resurge Red are not sure what to do here. They're definitely the underdogs in this story. Gnar pushing out bottom.
No doubts.
Been trying to do everything she can. Wave clear. Condemn does land. Not gonna be enough though. Are they gonna go for the finish?
Ooh, edged out a little bit, just barely missed. So, you know, there's a little bit of an unsung hero being established here in this third game. Lazarus Rex. Now, let's not get this incorrect here. Awoken obviously is, in the normal sense of when MVPs are selected, it's like the support is like the guy that 100% is usually ignored. At least the ones that I've seen. But honestly, Lazarus Rex's damage output, as well as the pressure that Lazarus Rex has been securing, has all been thanks to Awoken's abilities, true. But without that, I feel like, you know, with a different ADC, we might not be seeing as much pressure and damage kind of go through. So I kind of feel like Liz has a really honest chance to win this MVP. Although, I don't know, the fans might still be with me on Ward coverage, but there are some times where you want to break a record, and then there's other times where it's like you're doing too much to break a record. So,
well, as of right now in this game, Ashe is 8-2-10, and that's somebody who I would have as my player of the series right off the bat.
yeah. Kennan's also 5-1-3, and Gnar is 6-1-6, which is also fantastic. So, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see how the next play comes around. They're going to continue that siege. Wall blocks it off. Engage onto the Rammus. Rammus is going to tank a lot, but it looks like Kennan's going to tank some more. They're going to take multiple targets out. Thresh goes and secures one more, and none of the members of FamiREE. Oh, never mind. One member of FamiREE died. Oh, the Q misses. The Thresh hook awoken. Oh, wait a minute. 2 members are gone. Now it's up to Gnar and Thresh to... Oh, wait a minute. They already had... Okay. Never mind then. I thought this was going to still continue for a moment there. But that should just about be it. They carve away ever so slowly, and the Nexus is gone. FamiREE wins the 2-1. Congratulations to FamiREE. You won the match for the first time in your best of 3, actual 3-man match. You've won. Nice.
Congratulations indeed. Well played. Both teams played really well. It was close matches all around, and it went to 3 games. So, what can you say about it?
What can you say about it? Except I am tired. Both vocally and physically. Okay, well, we got a lot of audience members talking about Liz being the MVP, but before we even get on to that topic, why don't we take a look at some extra statistics that might tell a story otherwise. While I go ahead and get this prepped up the pots, let's see what we got in store for everything.
All right, Army, why don't you break it down for us? Tell us how it is.
In a moment. I gotta finish the pots first. But yes, I will break it down for us when we get across to it. Boy, why does Lazara always have to have such a hard name to type? Alright, I think I got it right. Now, we have an unsung hero as well from the game 1. Before they made the switch, there was a certain player that was playing as their top lane. So, if I remember correctly, that was the Maokai player from game 1. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the match history, shall we? So we can finally get this story to rest and get everything all caught up and everything. Bam. Oh, wait, I already had one there. Oops. Ah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so folks, at home, let's take a look at the charts real quick of the gold advantage. The momentum seemed to be always in the favor of the FamiREE side, and that's all because of the early kills, thanks to Thresh and Ashe, able to make those multiple kills in the bot lane. That really started to snowball the lead. They did lose a little bit of momentum in that early stage when they lost the Infernal Drake, as well as a very crucial team fight, which snowballed them, giving them a chance to climb back. But once that momentum started to swing again, the tower started to fall, and FamiREE had complete control of the game thereafter. Let's take a look at the statistics for the final statistics covered. 56 wards placed by the Threshman, And 56 plus 178 wards, I believe, is over 200 and something. 178 plus 54. I said equals 54. Oopsies. Quick maths. Hopefully, I can figure that out at some point. I can't do quick maths. Not in my state. I'm too tired. Ward coverage, however, by their opponents here, Resurge Red has increased. 43 wards by the Sejuani, very good. 45 by the Janna, also very good. Anyway, the damage as well to champions was 22 by the Ashe and 26.2 for the Vayne. Quite obviously, the Vayne was having a lot of targets to hit, so really strong stuff. Great work from both teams here. Great stuff. A lot of MVP options really to select here. Just a lot. And the player build paths, as you guys can take a look at it as well. Here is the player build paths. And their decisions along the way to get them. Well, folks, I think it's time to start looking at our MVP, shall we? So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Players of the series, let's take a look at what you guys think should be the case. I'll create the poll right now. I'm going to place my vote on Lasarosaurus Rex. For the, in some cases, it's the reverse. Usually the ADC is the very reason that you get an MVP for damage-wise. But as we know from our series, it's always been the opposite to be true.
I'm just really proud of both teams. It was the first time me jumping and casting. I was impressed with what I saw.
Straw poll in the chat, everybody. Let's figure out who our MVP is.
Could have gone either way.
Wow. What a contest here, as we're really getting a good fight for every single one of these picks. And it looks like Lasarosaurus is currently out in front for that damage output. Lasarosaurus Rex, 10 votes to Awoken's 3. Rather surprising, honestly. But then again, it is depending on damage output, and people certainly feel quite happy about it, about the damage.
I mean, to be honest, let's just talk about it from an AD's perspective, because Army, you just may not understand the subtle nuances of putting your mouse over someone and right-clicking them. Okay, it can be difficult. They try and run away sometimes. And you know what? Playing MF, the Lasarosaurus Rex Game 2, was super decisive in their victory. And I would think without it, they wouldn't have, wouldn't be here.
Right, the catches Awoken made might have not have been, a catch if it wasn't for the fact that Lasarosaurus Rex had the great follow-up. And that's really important. People kind of take that into context, really. So anyway, folks, I think it's quite almost a landslide in some cases. With the 3 votes in, despite breaking the record of most warding by a support, who broke the record twice, technically, one with 88, the other with 90, we have ourselves a true MVP, or in this case, a true player of the series. And from your votes to mine, Lasarosaurus Rex has won the interview and won the pots. Let's go ahead and see what kind of interview we can get with her coming up. I'm going to go ahead and move Lasarosaurus Rex into the chat, into the caster room, so we can get this interview a-going and a-flowing.
No, don't do it.
No, don't do it? What do you mean?
My mic.
Liz, what do you mean?
What?
Hey!
Congratulations, you're our MVP.
Pretty convincingly, too. 13 votes, 10 votes over your support. Your support broke a record, by the way.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Oh, he's a keeper. I agree, but I have to know. This entire casting that I've been a part of has been almost a circumference of, oh, you're like a support benefit. Like you always pick the supports. You always want the supports to get the MVP because they always deserve it, and so on. Because that's the army way. Because all that and stuff, and then your support breaks a record and everything. So it just seems like there's no chance you're gonna get the MVP, or in this case, the pots. It's like your support's gonna get it. But you know what?
Here you are.
But here you are. Yeah.
Here I am.
So what do you think about that, by the way? About the whole warding situation and what you think your support did?
I think that's funny because of yesterday's game when you guys are just talking about the record and then he broke it the next game we did.
Yeah. Can I ask you how do you feel about MF in this meta right now? MF is strong and you had a really good MF game. Where do you think she is?
MF is definitely my favorite champion before the runes changed, and I think it's still like kind of weird with all the new stuff, but I've always just liked her, especially with the lethality. But she just always feels really strong, especially with her double up. It's just when you hit it, it's like the enemy's health goes away, and you're just like, what? I don't know. Anyways, I just like her a lot.
What's the shot calling like? What are the comms like? What is the in-game chat? Who's running the show over there?
I feel like a lot of us do shot calling. It's mainly our jungler and support, just kind of going back and forth, and then we kind of just go off of what sounds the best at the time.
So anyway, I gotta ask my question real quick here. Big Guy Mac has said, you know what? How come the support is not in this interview? How come it's not your Awoken friend who broke multiple records? And you know what? He's honestly could be 100% correct. Maybe Liz, you're gonna have to just bring in your support in here instead. I'm sorry. Interviews. Oh.
He said, don't talk about the support. Okay. No, I
was having some fun at his expense. He's very passionate. But on a real note, he did ask about your kiting. So let's talk about that one clutch moment you had with the Drake. What was kind of going through your mind in that?
No queuing up replay.
What Drake?
The red Drake, where you get the triple kill on Ashe.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, that was. I have been awful at kiting for like ever, and then I've been working on it a lot with Mac, our mid laner, so he's just a little overhyped about it. That's all.
Congratulations again on the win, and to the rest of your team, pass it on. Congratulations to them as well.
Well, anyway, wow, it looks like I kind of struck a bit of a sour note within the crowd. I think everybody took me a little way too seriously with that. It was not funny at all, actually, from their perspective. Bummer. All right, well, Liz, my final question to you here is the situation with the warding coverage as a whole. I mean, you're happy that Awoken is helping you out. That's quite clear. He's able to make these catches and plays. He did a really good job in both game 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And 3 as well. But I gotta ask about this whole warding fiasco that's going on here. I mean, in game 2 in specific, he kind of bought so many control wards that he didn't really complete any of his items. Like, he only completed 2 items. Like, what do you specifically think about that kind of thing? Like, the whole warding deal as a whole? It's like, no big deal, it's a big deal. What do you think?
I just want to know why you're obsessed.
With warding?
Yeah!
Because it's, well, well, it's an interview about me, it's an interview about you, but I gotcha.
No, really.
Okay.
I mean, word control is definitely very important. I don't buy a ton because it just takes me forever to get all of my items. But I don't know. Definitely shout out to my support. We had really good synergy, especially game 3. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, well that was
so
that was Lazarosaurus Rex. Thank you very much for joining this interview. By the way, what Lazarosaurus? Am I wrong?
No, yeah,
Well,
Nope, that's
Liza or Saurus? What?
Lizosaurus Rex. You can just say Liz. It's fine.
Oh, I added an R. That's why. Oh my God! I've been adding an R somewhere into your name.
Yeah.
Lizosaurus Rex. Thank you for
Thanks.
joining us in this, and thank you for correcting me too, because I definitely do not want to make that mistake next time you get an interview. Next time you get a POTS. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching for that part, and Lizasaurus Rex. Thank you for being a part of this interview. See you next time.
See you.
Okay, everybody, I think it's time for our closure here. My name is Army Overlord. I was your cameraman, and we kind of switched between the play-by-play and color due to me not feeling so well, which I'm feeling a little bit better now again. And over with me was a certain man, a certain myth, a certain legend, and a certain thank you for being a part of this, Mr. Birthday Boy, man.
Hey, thanks. It was fun.
That's Crazy Chris, in case you guys do not know. We thank you very much for watching this series and all coming around to support us. We haven't ever had that many viewers come around on the weekend. Guess you're a keeper, Chris. I'm gonna have to need you for next weekend, huh? If there even is a next weekend game. Anyway, folks, thank you all for watching. I hope we were entertaining, even if maybe we said some controversial stuff. Maybe. I don't know. Really? Words? Words.
Words.
Urgot was played in a game! Yes! I'm so happy! I'm so happy. We're still live, by the way. I just wanted to say that. I don't know why he didn't play Urgot again, man. Oh well. See ya!